Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about it in a bit. Hey guys, we are live. Can you all hear us? I'm gonna type in the chat. Oh, I gotta start recording. I'm gonna record. Can y'all hear us? And Norman, yeah, you could drop some bombs as well. So can.
Hello everybody, can you hear me? Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then so on Rumble, yeah, so Rumble St. David says, bless up Matt and chat. Never forget Moonchild, heard it here first. Let's go. Yeah, the Moonchild is pretty epic. And yeah, John Hudson actually shared this video. The video, the exterior column one. So he shared that to an email. I think he shared it to Bob Greener as well. All right, so who's in the chat? I think we have 3 people in the YouTube chat. They should be showing up. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Oh, this is the wrong links one. Notes. Where's the notes? Oh, did I forget to put the notes? Okay. So this is the notes. All right, guys. Okay, so Restless Native says, never forget 9/11 Moonchild. Heard it here first. Okay, epic stuff. Yeah, so he's St. David's and the Restless Native. Okay, Tammy's here. Okay, we have people slowly rolling in. I'm gonna put this here. Notes and. Okay. And,
I just got a message from Mark Conlon. He'll be in the next half an hour.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because I sent him a message as well. And then Russell Native says, bless up Nancy. I'm going to open up these so you guys can see the chat. Because so this is some comments. I'm going to open up the Rumble, just the Rumble and the YouTube one so you guys can see. So here's bless up John, Nancy, Evo, and chat. Let's go. Okay, Russell Native blessing us. Tammy's here. Let's go. And yeah, Moonchild. Yeah, guys. Moonchild's probably, you guys heard it here first. And then there's a Rumble, St. David's as well. All right, guys. And see how many people are. I'm gonna open up so you guys can see web.telegram, so that you guys can share it directly from here. This one is. Yeah, so this thumbnail took me a while. I had to make sure this was perfect, and I wanted to do like this. Somebody actually shared it on Twitter, saying, "Hey, it shared this Sabin civil engineering." He's like, "Hey, look, this person debunks your 9/11 stuff," and I'm like, "This is complete disinfo nonsense." I'm like, "What do you?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one doesn't even include the spire turning to dust. It's like. And they don't also like completely downplay how little rubble there is.
Yeah, but you've got to see the debate that guy had with Ted Walter and who else?
Oh yes, he was debating them.
What's it, Jonathan Cole?
Oh wow, so they are.
It was hilarious.
So they are a team. Yeah. Go on. No, I was gonna say so they are a team. Yeah, so they are a team. Yeah, go on.
No, they had a debate against one another because the one guy's basically pushing the government narrative, and the other guys are pushing the bull twang, controlled demolition, bomb, thermite farce.
Yeah, so this is kind of like WWE, where it's like both sides have good and bad points on purpose, so that there's a debate. So there's actually like a fight, but but it never actually leads to anywhere. Because they're all just gatekeeping. But yeah, this one here, I think there's another one I want to get. There's one about the aluminum. Someone saying the secret was the aluminum plane superheated or something.
Step 1, you first need to figure out flight dynamics and physics and just basic crash dynamics.
Yeah, or also just look at the actual thing. What happened? Well, what actually happened isn't as any of the animations described. Like you like this. See this animation right here. This is not in the actual footage. There's no like perfect plane looking object. There's not an object that looks like a plane like this, exactly like that. And these wings are intact. You can see these like fins there. You can see the engine. You can't see that in the actual one. All right, so there's very little detail.
How about Air India Flight 171, the crash on June 12th of this year? It couldn't take down 2 stories.
Oh yeah.
But somehow, essentially the equivalent size plane is supposed to take down 110 stories. That's I don't. There you go.
But
Yeah.
I
Ryan,
can't see
Air
that.
India was flying so much slower, man.
But,
It was flying faster.
Oh, it was the speed. Oh,
Yeah.
so we're going
Yes,
the
it's
Dave
the
Von
speed. It's
Kleist
all about the
direction.
speed.
so it's not the explosion of the the jet fuel, but also
No.
the Nagarjuna. Oh, also yeah. Before I even get further, I want to put this in the bottom. I'd put this in the bottom here, because we're on YouTube. I put it
Yes.
right here. So impossible Boeing fixes. We'll go over that, but avoid using the phrases no. Or quote no, quote planes, quote fake in the same sentence to avoid YouTube's hate speech policy. All right, so I'm gonna call them Boeings, and avoid just saying them as a one sentence where it's like YouTube can automatically their algorithm picks it up. But yeah, anyways, so the Air India plane crash apparently the towers didn't turn to dust, or the building didn't turn to dust because they were using high strength Nagarjuna cement. Let's play this. Can you guys hear this?
నాగార్జున సిమెంట్ ప్రతి సౌదంలో మనగాడై నిలుస్తుంది.
All right, so you guys heard that? It was were you able to hear the Nagarjuna? Okay, and yeah, and Ryan.
Yeah, seems like we need to take notes from India.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's that part. Yeah, I just want to let the audience know. So the audience, yeah, guys, we have 9/11 revisionist is in the house, and Ryan from Field Interference. So and I put your field interference. I'll send it to the link to the chat. Field interference for those who do not know, guys. Field interference. Here's the link to and yeah. So I have it like so. Here's the chat there. I have it also here. You guys can see. So I put a link to your field interference on your YouTube. And okay, so and we have Miriam is on Rumble. Hi, Miriam. All right, Miriam, that's 9/11 version is your favorite person. All right. Anyways, keep it on the nice side. Okay, guys. Anyways, here's also the link to notes, and then we'll go through the journey and do some debunking and also answer questions from the chat. So this is the notes that I made, and also the thumbnail. Ryan, did you have a chance to look at this thumbnail? As one of my better thumbnails, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not entirely sure what I'm looking at.
Oh, this thumbnail? No, but yeah.
Is this supposed to be an explanation of what happened?
Yeah,
on the left side?
on the left side, the Sabin Civil Engineering. This is the mainstream side, saying that what happened was this big Boeing, and then somehow made them go down. But it's like they ignore a bunch of stuff, and well, this is like the mainstream disinfo, and this was last year. The post got 11 million views, and then on the right side, Richard Gage gets 11 million views on Twitter, and he just says noticed anything, and all he shows is like a few seconds of the building turning to dust. But but what he's alluding to is this little spark there, this little flash. So it's like, and apparently like their sides were both debating each other, like this same mainstream gatekeeper, and this is the alternative media. So anyways,
Well, that's the Bean guy. Also did a video on Building 7 where he's trying to make the case that it was a fire-induced collapse.
yeah. So basically,
So complete and utter mainstream government narrative B-stroke is.
yeah. So
So was this the guy on the Zoom call that was doing that like that group Zoom call with Richard Gage, and they had a presentation going?
No, he actually debated Ted Walter from the International Center for 9/11 Justice Suppression and the Jonathan Cole guy who did all those thermite experiments in his backyard with cutting a single piece of steel. And hello, Mr.
Mark
Brains
Cullen's in the
Research.
house. Okay.
Nice
Oh, guys.
to see you, sir.
We have a surprise guest,
You're
guys. Mark Cullen is in the house, and Mark Cullen's taking a break from his Substack, like dropping absolute bombs on the 9/11 planes.
No, he's always become great.
He's descending from the cosmos to
There he is. Yeah, there's a spaceship. He's actually here. All right, guys.
I
Yeah,
like this with the
so Mark.
background. Great.
Yeah. All right, yeah, great to have you on, Mark, and thanks for your
Thanks
work.
for asking.
Yeah, thanks for work on Substack. Yeah, that's absolutely mind-boggling stuff. I've been putting all your stuff on that giant Excel file,
Oh, yeah.
database, And I'm gonna, I think as we get close to September, I might do a full live stream going over the database. So it's and I'll show this to also, yeah. So Ryan, if you haven't seen what I made through the help of Mark Cullen, so database or Excel. So I made one. I made a giant Excel file of all the passengers and the flights. I also added flights too, and basically you can search it up and it gives you all the weird anomalies on them, and with links to all the other stuff. So all the passengers, all the quote hijackers, how much there were, and so on. And there's also some. You can also use a pivot chart here. So so the full database, you can see it online and so on. So it's actually quite
Very
amazing, and it's going to be it's. And a lot of it is just links to Mark Cullen's work. All right. And before we get further, I just want to follow the notes thingy here, and then I'll read this out, and then and basically we'll just go from there. And also want to play the trailer if you guys haven't seen the trailer, because I took little clips from the video I just uploaded, which is I think one of the best videos of like seeing what actually happened on 9/11. Like I put
very good.
Yeah, I put like literally hundreds and hundreds of photos that I compacted to one video. All right, guys. Anyways, so MES Livestream 95, debunking 9/11 myths with 9/11 revisited and field interference, and Mark Cullen 9/11 planes research. So now 9/11 revisited and field interference join the show to examine and debunk the many myths people hold by 9/11, from imaginary jet fuel, the mainstream media push, to the imaginary explosives and thermite nonsense mainstream alt media push. Truth, in other words, directed energy weapons is covered up through endless distractions. And here's a trailer. Again, have you guys had a chance to see this trailer? This is an absolutely amazing trailer. I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
It's 3 minutes, but I basically compacted all of the little clips of the first responders saying that the Rubble's absolutely tiny, and play this right here.
The entire Ladder 6 crew and Josephine Harris had survived inside a dark and dust-filled cavity within the collapsed shell of Stairway B. Nobody really understands how this miracle came about. The location given by Jay Jonas was unbelievable to the firefighters listening. The North Tower no longer existed. They asked for his location again.
110-story building above us, and I'm looking up at the sun.
I couldn't even believe at that point that I was alive, and I survived that, and there was nothing above me.
Yeah, so there's nothing above Pasquale Baselli. And it's like, all right.
This is two World Trade Centers on the ground. On the level right here, ground level. This is the World Trade Center on the floor.
I think the lack of artifacts stands out to me quite a bit. I think the fact that I haven't seen a door, I haven't seen a phone, I haven't seen a computer, I haven't seen a doorknob. I think that stands out.
In the 9 days I stood there, never saw a desk, never saw a computer, never saw a couch, never saw a chair, nothing. If you wanted to survive 9/11, you had to be a piece of paper. When those buildings fell, everything in them got pulverized, except the paper.
You have 2 110-story office buildings. You don't find a desk. You don't find a chair. You don't find a telephone, a computer. The biggest piece of a telephone I found was half of the keypad, and it was about this big. The building collapsed to dust.
110 stories at ground level.
110 stories at ground level.
Engineers at the firm that built the building's best guess to account for the missing 1,200 feet of material from each tower is that large portions simply vaporized into the dust that rained down on New Yorkers immediately after the collapse. It was that powerful.
I was astonished at the degree to which solid materials were turned into pulverized dust as a consequence of that building collapse. I think it was striking.
Still, there is this mystery. If some of the hardest materials were vaporized, how to account for the presence everywhere of paper?
And there is surprisingly so little rubble. Where did all the rubble go?
The reason there's so little rubble is that all of it simply fell down into the ground and was pulverized, evaporated.
For many people who've asked it about why there is so little rubble on the ground, much of the material that makes up the structure of the building was simply pulverized.
All right, guys, you heard that. So again, that was a trailer. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. In the trailer, it's like similar to like the alt media where they always push like little snippets of first responders saying they heard quote explosions. But like this one, it's like little people saying that they don't see any building. It's like where's the actual building? But yeah. So anyways, that is.
Yeah, but remember what Dr. Wood also said is that was the September 12 was the only day that they actually officially talked about the lack of rubble, and then never ever again.
Yeah, that was
and
on
then
the news,
the stories and stuff came in with, the basements would have been completely full and all of that, but then in October, November, 60 Minutes. And I think it was CNN or somebody went down into the basements, and that's where they basically showed and talked about the fact that it's mostly undamaged and most of the cars were driven out from there, and how eerie it was with the shopping mall still looking exactly the same it did on the morning with the newspapers of September 10th still around and all of that. So again, and that's where the bull stories also started with the temperatures on ground zero as well. That was also complete and utter farce.
Yeah, definitely. And I included so again for Mark and Ryan, if you haven't seen the like giant compilation, I made the thumbnail. The trailer was basically taking clips from my video I just uploaded last night. And what I also did was I also did a compilation of all the photos of the many people standing on there. So if you go to right here, many people walking in Rubble at 126. So basically, this is one of the most organized giant. Well, yeah. So you can see all the people on Rubble, and there's a sphere, right there, and I'm using AI music in the background, and so again, there's very little heat. They're on the actual ground level. There's that ambulance. You can see all these people on there, and no one's burning.
And then don't forget all the cadaver dogs that you had towards the end.
Yeah, I added all the dogs too.
Your video. No dogs got injured except the one. What was the dog's name?
Sirius.
Sirius.
Yeah, but he was inside during the dustification. So I included there, and I also included the thermite cutters and so on. And then I think one of the ones that it's like one of the rarest things ever. I'm not sure if you guys knew, is there was actually the moon was actually visible on 9/11, and directly above the towers. Have you guys seen that? Mark, have you seen that one? Or Ryan?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, this is one of the most shocking things. There it is. I found. Yeah, so here's the clip right here. This is it's 8:55, so just before the second impact, and somehow this cuts out the second impact. You probably didn't know or glitched out the camera. I'm not sure. Yeah, so there's the moon right there. There's the North Tower. Wow. There's the moon. It's a half moon. It's in Gemini, so Gemini twins.
Yeah.
And then if you go to Stellarium, so this one I made this on 9/11 9 a.m. 9/11. You can see that it's between Jupiter and Saturn, half moon, and visible during the day.
Wow.
Yeah, so directly above the towers, you get the half moon. So again, we're talking some deep occult mumbo jumbo here.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's fascinating.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
What is the symbolic value of the half moon?
With moons, it's there's probably some occult stuff on it. But symbology, again, that's speculation. I'm just saying, I think it's very, very telling that the moon is there. It's similar to, I had a full video on Trump being born on the blood moon and so on. So the moon has some occult stuff, symbology and so on that is...
But is this like Cabala or...
I'm not the Cabala stuff, that's also interesting as well. I'm just saying, like, I just group everything together. Anything that's like as like occult, I call it occult. So and what's interesting about the Cabala one, so like you'll have a lot of the big names wearing Cabala bracelets. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. It's this red bracelet. So this is the Cabala red bracelet. I have actually a giant thread on red bracelet. So you know this guy right here, Ian Carroll. So he wears the Cabala red bracelet of a giant thread. Like you have Putin wearing it, you have Tucker Carlson wearing it. So apparently it's like
what the heck?
Yeah, so you have Tucker Carlson wearing the Cabala red bracelet. You had who else have Michael Jackson wearing it. You got Madonna wearing it. You got even her. This person, Ariana Grande, she actually turned to the Cabala because of her brother was gay, and then
what is the significance of the red bracelet though?
Well, according to the thing, you ward off evil spirits. So this is according to Jewish mysticism. So there's an evil eye, and then if you wear it on the left wrist, and then I think Hindus also wear red bracelets as well. But it's to ward off. Let's see, yeah. So.
Have to knot it 7 times.
Yes, it's a type of talisman in Jewish folk custom, which is practiced as a way to ward off misfortune, which is brought about by the evil eye. And what's interesting is, yeah, so interesting is Ariana Grande actually turned to the Kabbalah after, so her brother was gay, and then Catholic Church apparently shunned him. So then she turned to the Kabbalah. Now she's wearing the red bracelet, and. So again, you have Michael Jackson. Oh, Michael Jackson grabbing his junk while wearing the red bracelet. You have Madonna. You have Leonardo DiCaprio. Ivanka.
I guess he's trying to protect his progeny there, maybe.
yeah. What's interesting, even Zinedine Zidane's wearing this red bracelet. So it's like, and then Putin is wearing it. It's weird. And then this other guy. So I don't know if you know Ian Carroll. Do you guys know Ian Carroll? He's like the big media.
Yeah, very, very odd individual from my perspective. It's like he accepts truth to a point.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
What's also interesting is there's rumors that he's gay, but and hiding it, but it's very, very, very obvious he's actually gay.
I've mentioned him in one or two of my articles so far, or whatever, because he's still got a lot to learn about 9/11, because he's just on the limited hangout of them Jews did it.
That's all he does.
What a waste.
His entire
and
channel
he's supposed to be this new hot prodigy on the internet who does these deep dives about everybody. And
but yeah, if you there's some research, you can just search Ian Carroll gay. He's actually gay. He's actually, it's not even there's anyways, that's for another day. But he's very, very likely to be.
I'm not surprised to see him there talking with Sneeko, because there seems to be this tier of people that appeal to, like, I guess Gen Z or the younger audience, and they don't really have depth, but they claim to be, the guys that are telling you all the secrets, and I don't know, somehow people just eat it up. I'm not sure if it's because, like, whatever, they like their personality, they like their looks, or maybe it's they just hit the algorithm in the right way, but it's just this total low tier information cycle.
Yeah, it's like the TikTok news cycle. Everything is like just short, quick to the point, but it's like the point's all fake, and it's just really, really, really weird. But definitely the algorithm helps a lot, because it's like just go into the thumbnail. This person has 11 million views. There's no way this can get 11 million views without like a 9/11 video can't go 11 million views on YouTube unless it's past the algorithm. The only way it can go is if you're debunking. So it's like then they push it. It's like I'm not sure if you know the 9/11 Alchemy video. You've seen that one, I assume, the one with Chris Hampton and Mark Cullen that did all the research. So 9/11 Alchemy, it actually went viral on my YouTube channel for the first 3 months because YouTube forgot to censor it. Okay. So it actually got 900,000 views in the first 3 months, and then they put in a limit state, and so it just went down to like 0. I'll show you, and it's actually my highest viewed video as because I uploaded his thing. It's got 1 million views now. But I'll just show you where's the 9/11 Alchemy. Let's say censored.
Just down, hit 1 million views. Look.
Yeah, so I had this one hit 1 million views, but it's about to hit 1 million views. Yeah, but I want to see the chart. Yeah, there's a chart. Yeah, that's true.
So
the chart right here, So in the first 3 months, it got 900,000 views, and then in the next like 7 years, it gets like 90,000. So you can see this was when they didn't put in a limit state. I'm like, holy, it's going viral. Yeah. But the amount of hate messages I got from normies on there, unbelievable, because it was going viral. So like, imagine that, I'm getting like 30, 40,000 views every single day. And then all the normies saying, oh, what is this, blah, blah. I'm like, my goodness, I gotta like block all these. They were calling me every name in the book imaginable. like these are absolutely wild. Holy.
Good job for standing your ground though with that.
Yeah, and this was actually
with the normies.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It's like, well, in a way, it actually drives me. I'm telling you the truth, and you guys are hating on me. I'm like, what? Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished, is what I've learned. All right.
To be honest, I didn't expect that to do that well in the first 3 months. To be honest, because I thought it would have been shadow banned from the word go.
Yeah, but again, that's because I have a math channel, so it's like I have some leeway, especially back then. They've made everything much more automated, like the censorship. Before it was like more manual. Yeah, but yeah. So like similar, like it got more views than Chris Hampton's actual original upload, just because.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like the algorithm, because a math channel, because YouTube actually categorizes your entire channel, not just individual videos. So
right.
Yeah. So basically, if you're a conspiracy only channel, and then you post, chances are the algorithm will consider you as a overall, like put you in a lump, and then so you'll get less views than. For example, mine's a math channel, but every time I upload non-math, I risk getting it taken down. But it's like.
So interestingly enough, I think that's how I'm categorized, but that was never what I set out to do. I am mostly interested in the physics, the science, like particularly electricity, and just all of the dynamics involved there, weather. Particularly, and so I just set out to post things that I found interesting. I mean, there's other things that occur in my life that aren't related to that, but like you do see some of these videos that I think would be grouped as conspiracy, but it's like, I'm sorry that assessing evidence makes me look like a conspiracy theorist, my bad.
Yeah, no, definitely you're right. That's where, like, even I was telling 9/11 revisionist, I was saying on YouTube, just like post like neutral technology stuff, like more, and then like every third one throw in a 9/11 or fourth one, just so that it categorizes you as a neutral. But again, that's a YouTube. YouTube is,
well, my most viewed video is a slow motion impact of the plane in the South Tower. So that's like that makes it real difficult, I think.
Well, it is, but the thing is, this one is like, unless you don't mention anything, it could just be a normal 9/11. So you're allowed to post.
No,
but then you have links there. Okay.
I do my best to not do commentary, but yeah, I think perhaps I kill myself on the links because I go hard on the links, and so if there's something in there that's hitting the algorithm badly, then my channel's going to be screwed.
Yeah, but it's alright. But it's also like if you were one of the early ones posting this one, sometimes the views come not from the YouTube itself. So like, have you ever seen my Melissa Dow video? Melissa Doi video? Almost
no.
Yeah. So this is the one. It's the one that Judy Wood talked about, where that's when I first heard about it, when she says that Melissa Doi felt heat, and she's the one that called from the like near the impact zone, and saying that it was so hot, there's smoke everywhere, she can't breathe, but she's perfectly fine, like in terms of she's not coughing, and
right,
so on.
Right.
Yeah, so that one. So I made a full video on that, including like never before heard audio of it, and then so if we go to Melissa Doi, I think let's see MES, just to see it. Yeah, so this one here, it's 59,000 views. It's decent, but this was a year ago. But the thing is, all the traffic comes from Google, because this is the best video about the Melissa Doi out anywhere on the internet. And this is actually shared on Reddit mainstream, like on the mainstream 9/11 archive. And then all the comments were saying, "Hey, why are you sharing a conspiracy person's video and so on?" But they didn't take it down because it's like, this is the best video. This is the best video of her call. But when you actually go on Google and just write Melissa Doi, so like Melissa Doi, I think 9/11. I should be number 1. Let's just see, news, videos. I should be number 1. Okay, this was So I'm up there. I'm like top 3, but I'm usually number 1 when you just search Melissa Doi, just her name. Yeah, there it is. So it's like I'm right there on YouTube as like the number 1 video. Yeah, so number 1, 2. This was a month ago, but yeah, so I'm like the number 1 video. So all the traffic comes from Google search as opposed to YouTube, because they don't recommend it. It's all on a limited state. So
there's another measure of censorship that's happened to my channel. It stopped all clickable links. So the hyperlinks are, you know how it does the ...
Yeah.
It basically made those links disabled in my descriptions.
Oh, really?
And so I've had to go through on videos and reconstruct the links from the description and put it in a comment, and it'll somehow it accepts on I don't know, somehow it kept it on those. Or actually try clicking it, see if it is a real link.
Yeah, but like that could be just
okay,
a YouTube.
Sometimes
YouTube because I had that issue as well.
It legitimately disabled it, and when I tried to put it back in, it wouldn't let me put the video in with the hyperlink. So I would take out the hyperlink from the description.
So this one,
and I'd put it in.
Doesn't work here. Yeah. So this file not found. But
right.
It could be also just YouTube is tinkering with stuff, because I've had some issues with YouTube. Okay, this one. Or this is just file not found. Okay, this is actually Columbia that actually removed the stuff. I'm gonna go to archive. I'm gonna go and just see what this link was. Sometimes just the links are taken down, and this is why I always recommend the Hive blockchain. You just post there. You don't need to worry about even the archive taking it down. So this is the PDF or seismic waves generated.
Yeah, I'm just circumventing the problem by putting it in the description, and so but then I can't even pin my comments now.
Really?
YouTube has disabled me from pinning any comments.
Oh wow, that's wild. And is there even allowed to comment on this? Okay.
Yeah, YouTube hates my guts. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's YouTube for you. Because like Norman's had 4 channels now.
Yeah, I'm on my 5th channel now in just under 2.5 years.
I've been towing the line. Like I during COVID, I basically didn't post, and I know that a lot of people would go like, just post anyway, whatever. But I just wanted to retain the content that was already up there. I thought it, was hard hitting enough that I didn't want to make it conflict with other content that's going to get my channel taken down, and then it's like, well, okay, all that for nothing.
Yeah, definitely gotta make sure. And one way is just putting like little a short little trailer saying my channel, the real content is gonna be on somewhere else.
Well, true. Yeah, I mean, I
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble and so on. But yeah, I try to. Again, I keep thinking my math stuff helps me out, because I upload it, and then if they usually sometimes give me a warning or strike, but then I tone it down until the strike goes away, and then back on it. But anyways, so
I've just never been focused on the algorithm. That's my big, like I just post content, right? Whatever I find interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It's just because like my view is like I'm trying to make 9/11 because I have a full playlist and many videos, but I want to make it so that people can follow, and that it can build over time, and so like anytime I upload 9/11, that gets the most views, even though they're all. Even though I'm a math channel and all the videos get demonetized and so on, so it's like, but still a lot of people are on YouTube that want to see the 9/11 stuff, and also Normies are there. That's the thing. The big thing is YouTube, even though it censors the most, that's where the Normies are. Like that's where the majority of the people that are completely like oblivious. But also what I found is the Normies, when they see the evidence of the tower stirring dust, they right away they see it. When I show I actually talked to someone on the conspiracy side. I was showing him like the tower stirring dust, but he kept saying thermite and all this stuff. I'm like, it's like he will not like move away from thermite. I'm like, thermite, have you lost your mind? So it's like
it's programming. He's well programmed.
Yeah, I'm like absolutely unbelievable. All right. So yeah, and before we go, so I have a link of stuff here. Before we get into that, I want to go over this random note. So someone mentioned, where is 29,000 tons of thermite? So a guy on YouTube His name is Attila. He's actually from Iran, and so he's telling me that it's like literally like the entire place is evacuated because of Trump's warning, and he's having some trouble in Iran right now. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna show you this one. I just want to and then he also sent me an email just now. So he can't access the internet because of so his updates. So this is Attila reporting from Iran. So he says right here. This was before I read. So he says internet goes in and out. They're making it intranet now only local access. I'm in the middle of Tehran almost, and he says F Trump. I have nowhere to go, but most people went. It's a ghost town right now. So Tehran is literally like a ghost town. They said the banks got hacked by Israelis, but I doubt it. My sister's pension was in one of those. Don't know if they're gonna pay the retirees or not. Also, the equivalent of Binance, so crypto exchange called Nobidex in Iran, claims that it got hacked and lost $49 million, which I believe is also a lie. Everything's happening so fast. And he sent me another email. I just wanted to read it because he has literally no other outlet because he can't access the internet. They shut it down in Iran. Basically you can't access anything outside. I'll go to my personal right here. And I'll just read this new one here. So, again, prayers up for Attila. So he says, my life in the past 3 months, hey Matthew, I'm still alive. I still can't open up Telegram and YouTube with these VPNs. Gmail seems to work at the moment. I'm going to actually ask him to use Hive, see if that you can connect to that. Anyways, when bad things come in bulk. Yeah, it says, so again, he's having a lot of issues. So about 4 months ago, my mother died and I had to sell my car and buy a grave for her. I was working with that car, so I had to work with someone else's car twice the hours, twice the less incomes. I tried to hold it together by but I guess my body couldn't take it anymore. A serious panic attack 20 days ago before the war, which I never experienced. I found out from a doctor, affected my lungs, diaphragm, digestive, and talkative system. Also gave me sudden high blood pressure. Doctor says I need to take psychiatric medicine. I would avoid that at all costs if you can. Then this bombardment happened. I'm now like a rabbit. Even a small dose of stress makes me jumpy. So I just stayed home and tried not to expose to more stress. Now about the whole war scenario, it's like the script that we all know and you mentioned many times. Yeah, so right now, I'm not sure if you've ever seen my War with Iran Predictive Programming series. I wrote about this.
No, but I feel like I watched it live in a lot of ways on various news channels.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. If you've been like, just look at the news, they always say war with Iran. I made like a full like article in like 2022.
Going back to Glenn Beck in the early days, he was, and who was the other one? Rush Limbaugh, I think it was.
Oh yeah. They're again and the other guy, what's this guy? John McCain. Yeah, he was the big on bomb Iran. He actually sang a song called Bomb Iran. Yeah. So
I mean, what was it? The general.
Yeah, Wesley Clark. Wesley Clark,
said that Iran's the last to go. So they've been at it for like 15 years or something.
Yeah, and he says that at his desk, like right after 9/11, like the director, whatever, had a piece of paper on the desk that has a list of all the countries to take out. I'm like, and also
after Iran for 40 years, man, the first newspaper article that came out about them being 2 weeks away was 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's like climate change. It's like 40. It's 2 weeks away from the ice caps melting. So I'll read this.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
And also, if you so when I did my giant like news cover, I'm not sure if you've seen the other video on the electromagnetic interference on 9/11. In that one, during 9/11, they're blaming Iran. They're blaming Iran. I'll get to that in a bit, but I want to read this out here, just because again, prayers up for Attila. He's going through a lot. He says, I also believe that the Afghans and Taliban are the next move. This confirmed for me personally by a terrorist-like bombing in north of Tehran by Taliban cells, allegedly, of course. As you know, there are a lot of Afghanis in Iran, mostly workforce, like the Iran and Iraq war, which was backed by U.S. and happened suddenly. And it happened exactly at the time that the revolution, destabilizing events happened in Iran, and Saddam took the opportunity to invade. I won't go outside. I want to be with my sister at home. For footage, you can go to FOA Farsi, Voice of America Farsi website or YouTube channel here. This is for like live footage. P.S. There's almost daily reports of earthquakes across Iran, which is weird. So again, there's earthquakes in Iran, which is and it's placed like a ghost town. So here is some footage here and so on in Iran. And I do want to find this Iran 9/11 one. Okay, I'm gonna close this. So I have, I think I posted on Telegram as well. Iran 9/11. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so here. Even before Building 7 fell on 9/11, MSM was already blaming Patsy, Osama bin Laden, and Iran. I'll play this one here, and then we'll do some debunking stuff. I do want to debunk that physics, that fake engineer guy, because it's ridiculous.
Go back now to Mr. Pilevsky, American Foreign Policy Organization, and we were talking about this terrorist group, Rosanna, you had asked.
Yeah, so you don't think it has anything to do with this terrorist group? You think Osama bin Laden is behind this?
Yes. Because this...
Also, for the occult stuff, notice the hand sign. Again, is a Freemason hand sign with the finger coming out. I don't know what it means exactly, but this guy is actually wearing a Freemason chain and doing that. And you got Hitler doing that. You got Malcolm X. You got... this is the Qasem Soleimani. That's an alleged commander that Trump got assassinated. Anyways, and there's MLK. There's Osama Laden.
This is a very coordinated effort. This had to have detailed planning. It had to have a tremendous amount of infrastructure to do this, tremendous coordination, and it had to have a worldwide network. That's the only organization right now that we know about that has that is Osama bin Laden's group in Afghanistan.
It is very
it's irrelevant, but this is more than that. This is much. This really has nothing to do with what's happening in Israel, what's happening in Palestine.
What does it have
This
to do
has
with?
to do. This all started out when President Carter allowed the Shah of Iran to be taken over by the group in Iran. Once Iran became an Islamic state, it gained a base and a legitimacy. See, this was only a fringe movement until Iran came into being. Once Iran came into being under Ayatollah Khomeini, okay, it gained a base and a legitimacy. Once it gained a base and a legitimacy, this became a transnational movement, which is a movement to go through boundaries. And this has been since Iran came into being. This movement has been growing and growing, and it's been growing more poisonous ever since.
And
so this
today
is just
they
a strike,
certainly
really.
have gone through boundaries. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So this is really a strike against the U.S. You're saying that it doesn't have that much to do with what's going on between Israel and the PLO. That it
totally nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do.
Totally nothing to do with it. The Khomeini movement had zero to do with Israel, and that's where all this comes from.
All right, so we got Iran.
But Matthew, Matthew, you forgot. 9/11 was actually solved 45 seconds after the second plane supposedly hit.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got to play that, because that's when it was sealed and delivered and everything. The whole of 9/11 was pretty much solved before the North Tower went down, the second tower that went down. So,
yeah, and the password was found before the
holy shit, guy. We had two guys on the TV stating it's Osama within 45 seconds, and for 48 hours afterwards, it was pounded into people's mind that what they saw was a collapse.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the. I'll play it. I'm gonna go to the washroom, and you guys can. Where are we going here? Osama. This is Mark.
Look for 45
guy?
seconds.
Okay. I think Osama 45.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, I don't know why. Let's go
We'll
to
look for 45 seconds.
Oh no, Fox News solved. Yeah, this one here, 40. It's 43 seconds. So not 45, 43. I'll play this.
It's almost like a skit when you watch it.
Yeah, and look at his hand. Like, this guy, and he's also like 6'6" or something. He could have been a basketball player. So like Guinness World Records. This thumbnail is again. I'm like professional thumbnail maker. If you haven't heard. So 9/11 solved. 43 seconds. I'm gonna go and then we'll do actual debunking. And I want to put a thingy here. So with that.
You've got 43 seconds. Run, friend.
Okay. I just want to put a timer here. Okay. So I'm gonna play this right here, and let's go.
Within 45 seconds of the second hit at the World Trade Center, Fox News anchor solved 9/11.
There was a pilot who flew. There was another one. We just saw another one. We just saw another one apparently go. Another plane just flew into the second tower. This has to be deliberate, folks. Well, that would begin to say that, yeah. We just saw on live television as a second plane flew into the second tower of the World Trade Center. Now, given what has been going on around the world, some of the key suspects come to mind: Osama bin Laden.
And then we just heard OBL.
Osama bin Laden.
What's a bin Laden?
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden.
The government has never even tried to prove it's a OBL story. It's a fiction.
He is always poised to strike again. Immensely wealthy man and a very private man. He has been granted a safe haven by Afghanistan's ruling Taliban movement. And during his time in hiding, he has called for a holy war against the United States and specifically for the killing of Americans and Jews.
So I got here, and yeah, so talking about a holy war, and he sounds like Ted Cruz actually, because Ted Cruz, if you haven't seen him, he wants a holy war against Iran. Have you seen that one with Ted Cruz? He's saying that. Let's see, we can play this.
I haven't watched that whole interview yet. The clips that they show is very, very
right.
good.
He tries to reference Genesis. But he doesn't remember the verse, and Tucker remembers the verse and corrects him. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Basically, he's saying that the Bible commands us to support Israel's bombing of Iran, like this specific government. Like, what?
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible: those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed...
Money they give him.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like, so Osama bin Laden has a holy war against Israel and America. But Ted Cruz has one against Iran.
Weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what, hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, you know, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is
there.
silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
that's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
All right, anyways, so we got basically a holy World War III is going to happen. All right, I'm going to go, so that is Iran versus Israel in a holy war. I want to go over, so now let's actually go over some of the debunking side of things. So this is the thumbnail was made, so the first thumbnail I made, so the thumbnail right here, we'll go over Richard Gage right here, and then we'll see basically what is it. A lot of it is just disinfo and nonsense. It's just like absolute nonsense. This is the thumbnail for Richard Gage, and then we'll go over from here. So this is Richard Gage video, and he gets 11 million views for 19 seconds. And he says, they did it right in front of our faces on 9/11 and thought we wouldn't notice. if you have a good explanation for what happens 5 seconds into this video, please let me know, all right? So he's ignoring that the entire building's turning to dust, but now he wrote, oh, but now he has this right here. Let's play this. And let me know what is even what is even happening. I'll make this bigger. Whoops, I have to make it like this. Okay. Okay, so at the 5 second mark. All right. Do you guys see that? Is there? And he gets 11 million views right there. And I'll stop.
I saw a slight flash.
Yeah. There's a flash, right? Yeah, there's a flash right there. Yeah, I'll go back a bit, and I'll go. I think I can't go frame by frame.
Okay, so a type of blooming that Chris Hampton talked about.
Yeah, or
to
just
call that thermite would be a huge stretch.
No, but like even it could be anything. It's like even if it's a little tiny bomb that they put in there, so that was not doing anything. It's not turning the towers dust. What I'm trying to say.
Right.
It's like who cares what it is.
It's like your car's smoking and you're like, what's this over here on the tire? You know?
Yeah. That's kind of what I mean. It's like, well, I just want to go. There's a flash. Oh, it's like okay. What about this entire building? what? Now he has. I'm gonna fast forward now, and yeah. So basically, 11 million views for absolutely no reason. I have to refresh my thingy. Okay, so 11 million views and absolutely nothing. And then he says, in case it was unclear, here's what we were looking at, full video. Let's play the full video right here. All right. Let's play. See what happens here. And he has no sound either. Notice how he muted it because there's the little flash. The entire building is turning to dust. Now here's with sound. And also note that it's a perfect straight line. That's an interesting part. It's like a perfect straight line, and this is the backside, I think. And notice that roar, the roaring sound, no explosive sounds.
Roar like a freight train coming at you.
Yeah.
Roar like a freight train coming at you.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And again, the size of the buildings, people have... Okay. And notice how quiet it is. It's like almost like it's very quiet. That's very quiet. There's no actual explosive sounds, like actual explosives.
Yeah. So, just from an audio perspective, like you shut your eyes. Just from an audio perspective, you do a comparative analysis with controlled demolition, conventional controlled demolition, I have to add. You hear successive explosives, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And is this more like that, or is this more like a waterfall?
Yeah.
and I would say that it's quite clear, even from the audio perspective, like, let's say you haven't looked into 9/11 at all. It's pretty clear what's happening. The building is turning into dust because that's what you're hearing.
Yeah, definitely.
You get what I'm saying? You're not like, that's a massive structure.
And that's a giant ball
that is supposed to end up on the ground. Well, I'm not hearing dump trucks falling. I'm not hearing explosives. But what I am hearing is this sound of a cascading, very fine debris, like a waterfall.
Yeah. Disintegration on a molecular level. Boom.
Yeah, and
molecular.
And then you open your eyes. You open your eyes and you see the snowball here.
Yeah.
That's not a controlled demolition, or conventional. Again, I'll add.
Yeah, and then Mark, you're saying molecular dissociation. Yeah, that's And what I want, and another part about the noise, a lot of people so I have a civil engineering background, and I like my cousin always kept telling me 9/11 inside job. I always ignored him because it's like Well, it just I knew it wasn't like explosive demolition. I'm like, it's not easy to do. It's something that if it was, any engineer would have just already answered it. I didn't even actually look at evidence. That's my reasoning. But also another part is people don't understand the scale. Like even when you're saying that explosive, like if you compare it to an explosive demolition, it's not just compared to an explosive demolition. You have to compare one that's equivalent size. And there's nothing anywhere near it. And I'll give you an example of what actual size is. So it's explosive.
No, whilst you're looking for that, I just want to answer Ape Alchemist. He basically says the bombs were going off previously over the past few hours. You can hear them going off in interviews with people on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ape Alchemist, something that you've got to keep in mind, not everything that goes boom is necessarily a bomb. There were multiple vehicles spontaneously combusting whilst both buildings were still standing. Then you also had Scott packs that the firefighters used for oxygen, and then there was ambulances parked all over the show, and they had oxygen tanks on them. And if you go read through the 5,000 page first responder testimonies, there are testimonies in there with the first responders talking about how these Scott packs and these oxygen tanks were letting go and exploding on the rigs in the street in front of the building. So again, yes, there were sounds of explosions, but that does not qualify and mean that it was a bomb. Go to your kitchen, take a egg in its shell, put it in the microwave, put it on high heat for 15 minutes and see what happens. When it goes boom, was that egg a bomb? And that's the way that Architects for Engineered Truth and the truth traitor and fraudster Richard Gage is using information to distort reality.
Mm-hmm.
And also something that you can go ask those guys is why can't they count past 3? Because as soon as you look at the anomalies with buildings 3, 4, 5, 6 and the bankers trust, it cannot be explained by any thermal or kinetic mechanism. So again, and that's what those guys have been doing for the last close to 20 years, since 2007, is using neurolinguistic selling techniques, giving you half the picture and then having you believe something and you don't second guess it. Because the problem with most people when they research 9/11 is they are interested in conspiracy videos type stuff for entertainment. They don't actually really want to know what the hell's going on because they don't really think about what's being presented to them. And once you actually go and investigate, spend a couple of 100 hours reading everything that's been put out there, watching all the documentaries, reading this paper, reading the counter paper, and doing your own due diligence, that's when you get to the truth. But people are bloody lazy. And once you get people that actually point out the various things, people stick their heads in the sand because they want their uninformed opinion to be mirrored back to them. And even if you can prove to somebody that they have no idea what they're talking about, then they just run away or they block you or whatever. And it's really, really, really sad when people call themselves truth seekers, but they're afraid of the truth.
Yeah, definitely. And also, this Ape Alchemist, my first thought is that he doesn't seem like be a real person. I think he's a disinfo agent. Just by he has the nose is big, so he's like indicating lying. It also has like the Mad TV agent, like one of those agents in the cartoon. So, and he's also saying, fair enough, careful you don't fall for the same thing. I'm like, no. Anyways, when you make up stuff here, and also your thumbnail, I think is a giveaway that he's an agent. He's actually a troll. But yeah.
Can I just mention something?
Yeah, go on.
I mean, they talk about bombs. I've never heard of a bomb that can make a fireman's steel toe cap boots melt the steel and their foot or feet not be burnt.
Yeah, definitely.
You name a bomb that can do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's what they did after they locked down the the site on the 13th of September. No videos, no pictures, no media, no nothing. So they could completely and utterly control the narrative. And then they had these two women there with their bloody hard hats on talking about this melting boots, but there was no pictures of these boots. There were no pictures of the boxes of boots that are being brought in or anything like that. So again, just bringing in talking points to push up this whole hot 1,000-degree rubble pile that's complete and utter bullshit, because you can see all the people walking around it and the bucket brigade that they had going on there. Yeah. So again, that is what Richard Gage has been talking about all these years, but go double check what the bastard is telling you.
No, yeah, he is. But what I'm trying to say is that Mark kind of says a point. It's like, even if those reports are true, they debunk the high heat, because you can't have steel boots melting, but your feet are fine. And also, again, back to the explosive side, just to guys grasp, it's when people say heard explosions or it's similar or compared with a conventional demolition, you have to compare it with something that's the same size. So, like the people they underestimate how massive the Twin Towers are. So, for example, just here's a demolition explosive one of a 16,000-ton Bethlehem City steel headquarter building. So you need to literally multiply this by how many? I think like 40 times. Yeah, so basically compared with 500,000. So I'll play this video just so when everybody like even on the debunking side saying, hey, it's not explosives because look, that's an actual controlled demolition. Yeah, but you have to factor in size. So it's not only that, but you also multiply by 31 times. Here is an example. This is the left one. Is very quiet. This one is explosives. But then you need to multiply it by like order of magnitude more. Almost 2 orders of magnitude more. So there's that. And I actually have to lower the audio just so the ears don't hurt. Just to give an example. So that's the audio there. And then this one is just a constant roar. And then I'll play it normal. So what y'all think was okay? And this MILF and Coffee person, I think it's like a troll. Anyways, a MILF and Coffee, I think you're like a troll or something. Anyways, we already know 9/11 dark energy weapon. What I'm trying to say is that I think there's a lot of trolls out there, probably using ChatGPT or something to just derail the conversation. Anyway, continue on. So this is a roar, and this is just it's an actual explosion. And now we'll do the comparison. Here's a comparison. Okay, going back here. So here's multiplied. So now, and remember, I had to lower the volume because it would blow up my ears on just normal one. And now we're just put 31 together. That's the normal weight. That's the equivalent weight of a North Tower. Just put one tower. Now you have 2. Now you have the double TC7. That's another like we're talking over 1 million tons. And then all the buildings 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's play this. So what I'm trying to say is, this did not happen. Everyone in the city would have heard it. If you were in New Jersey, you would have heard it. You wouldn't need to say, oh, some firefighter heard an explosion like that's like right beside him there. I'm like, no, I would have heard it in Canada. People in Toronto probably heard some sort of giant explosion. Tony Sachs says Rumble keeps stopping and starting. Interesting. Yeah, so that's why I put YouTube. YouTube is again, it's the biggest one, and so. All right, so I think we pretty
Matthew, much. If you can remember that podcast we did when I went through Building 7, we had that video clip where the guy was still panning over the toasted car park and stuff, and then you could hear explosions in the background just after the South Tower went down, and that was the cars and everything close by Building 7 and everything that was catching fire and exploding, and even after the towers. Even that one clip in your summary for the intro where that gentleman was standing next to the South Tower stating that it's level to the ground, in that video clip around about 5 seconds later, if you use the whole thing, there was still a car exploding whilst he was standing there. So
no, that's great.
It's interesting to see that those clips are around, and that's maybe also one of the reasons they got all the civilians and everybody out of there not being allowed to video.
Yeah, and if you can like compile these or just link to them, that could be a good video I can make as well. Compilation of all those, because it reminds me of this fuming handle. I think car handle. Yeah. So here's a spontaneous fuming of a car handle on 9/11. So this one's like it's like a weird fire, and then the handle just starts fuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right there, it just starts fuming, and it keeps going. It's very similar to the Hudson effect.
Yeah, but remember, those fires were caused, according to Richard Gage, by the hot molten iron microspheres that are smaller than the bead of your hair, and that caused vehicles, engines to melt away and all of that. But it did nothing to the people, did nothing to the trees, did nothing to the paper all over the show or anything like that. And there's another video that I use regularly where the guy is physically spanning over all this destruction and debris, and in the background you've got 5 flag poles standing there with the flags on that still waving in the wind. So again, those molten iron microspheres buggered up all the cars, but left flags on flagpoles intact.
And also, the cars were toasted, a lot of them before the towers fell. So it's like, okay, so now you have imaginary thermite. And also, Rory Matrix made a good point right here on the chat, saying that if you listen to this audio, you can hear some weird static.
Yeah.
So that's some interesting static going on.
Yeah, but remember all the other electric interference on some of the videos. You did a video on that as well. Compilation with regards to all the field interference type stuff on the video audios and stuff.
Yeah, if I knew about this static right here, I would have included this one. I didn't realize the static on this. It's actually fascinating. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much impossible to not hear the likeness to the static generator and the Hutchison effect. I mean, when you're peering through all these videos, but I'm not sure that sound is telling of anything. I'm not saying that it's not notable.
No, it's just a point. It's just like a data point. You can't. It's like the way I work is I just put everything in together. It sounds like it. That is a data point. It's not saying it is. It's just very, very similar. So then to confirm it, you'll need to have multiple different cameras, and then if they're also picking up the same audio clip, then you can be like, oh right, something's there. But that was just very interesting. I put it inside here just for later reference. And going back to the fuming one, I'm not sure if you've seen this one, the steel fuming. I think the steel fuming. This is rare footage of steel beams cold fuming. But the reporter says it's like, oh, it's molten hot. But I'm like, it's literally putting it on steel as well. It's not melting anything. And it's also they're spraying water on it. So it's like literally turning into
workers are steel.
So this is like I'm not sure how many.
Actually, isn't that sitting on a pallet?
Workers are
steel. Maybe it's not a wooden pallet.
Oh no, I think it is. No, it is wooden. It is wooden. That is wooden. It looks like it's wood on the steel. Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah. I've actually never seen that video.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like,
I found
this is fuming.
I found it.
Yeah. So look, it's fuming, but I think they're putting water on it. They're putting water on it. So, but they're saying it's molten
Norman
hot.
digs in the archives.
Yeah. So this one here.
I'm a librarian.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Removing red hot steel beams.
Okay, guys, red hot steel beams, and there's just like a regular tire that's not overheating. There's it's on wooden. I think it's wooden pallet. Yeah, it looks very wooden, and there's metal there. Nothing's melting. It's not sticking to anything, but they are spraying water on it, and it's just fuming nonstop.
Underneath the rubble, workers are still removing red hot steel beams.
So they're still, but how are they removing these? So that's the questions. How are they removing these red hot molten stuff? What are they picking it up with?
No, literally, where's the red? Red hot? Yeah. I'm not seeing red hot.
Yeah.
You can take your excavator onto a rubble pile that's thousands of degrees hot, and that metal and steel excavator won't get hot, and the hydraulics in it won't overcook, and the seals won't break or anything because they're indestructible. And people believe that.
Come on. So Ape Alchemist says so they left their beam on by accident, or they just it's just the process keeps going on and on, similar to Hudson effect. It keeps going on.
No, we need to help Ape Alchemist real quick. He's bringing in the straw man of a space beam or anything like that.
But
once again,
you're a moderator, so you can remove him if you think so.
But
he's fine.
No,
I think where
Let's
they're
just
taking
quickly
that.
just explain that to him, because the person that brought in that talking point was Stephen E. Jones.
Mhm.
Okay, who's Stephen E. Jones? He's a guy who worked for the Department of Energy. He was the guy who stopped cold fusion in 1989. He's the guy that wrote a paper, how did the towers collapse? In the pictures that are used there were all photoshopped, where you had people digging in the rubble. They were using a light to see what the hell they were doing, and he put a filter on there to make it yellow, and then he said, no, but this is molten metal and stuff that was going on there. He's been debunked so many times. Even the paper that he wrote with Niels Harrit and everything about the so-called thermite in the dust has been debunked by many people and it was in a pay-to-publish journal. Two of the editors of that journal resigned due to the fact that that was published without their knowledge. And there's a nice blog, I'll put it here in the chat. You can go read all about it, find out exactly what the background is with old Stephen E. Jones and the thermite swindle on this blog, the Thermite Free Zone. So I suggest you go and study it. So I'll put the link in the chat for you so that you've got some homework to go do.
Ape says, well, Ape Alchemist, well, all EMR are beams. What else can I call it? Well, no, you can have static interference. It doesn't need to be an actual beam. The beam is just more directed. But anyways, Ape Alchemist, it's like once you just acknowledge that the fuming steel or just a red hot steel wasn't actually regular heat, but that was water, there was steam. So something's happening to that water. So it's like it's steaming somehow.
You wouldn't want to be in that vicinity though.
Yeah, definitely.
With that like that, and especially spraying water.
Mm-hmm.
If it was,
it was ongoing.
You wouldn't want to be around that.
Okay. Peter Simon says 108,000 truckloads of steel and debris removed from ground zero, not 108,000 loads of dust. High percentage of concrete floors turned dust. Peter, we have a normie troll here.
Peter Simmons, something that you've got to remember: what did they truck out of ground zero? They trucked out the remnants, around about 20% that was left of the two towers, around about 15% of what was left of building 3, 10% of what was left of building 4, pretty much the whole of building 5. Building 6, building 7, and then all the parking garages underneath it. So they removed 7 buildings. So the amount of rubble that they removed there was not in line with what was there beforehand. If you alone took all the steel that was used for the twin towers alone and you put it end to end, it'll be a line 550 miles in length.
Yeah, definitely.
And what did they
if you
truck
look at the
in?
Picture that MES is going to be bringing up now, where you can see the sphere and the outer columns of the North Tower. That little where the flag is to the right-hand side, that is a light one of 15, I think, that was circling the Liberty Plaza sphere. That sphere is 27 feet high. Now, you had 210-story buildings standing next to it, and what Richard Gage would want you to believe is that everything got blown to bits and ejected 600 feet in all directions. And if you do the calculation for a basic controlled demolition or conventional controlled demolition, your rubble pile is usually a minimum of 12.5% of the original building height. So if you do your calculation for 12.5% on 110, that gives you 13.75. The building to the right of what was left of the North Tower in that picture was building 6. Building 6 was 8 stories. Building 5 was 9 stories. And the rubble pile, if you look at where the cursor is, that is the lobby height of around about 3 stories high. And that's the height of the rubble pile. To the left of it, that's where stairwell B was, where you had 16 people survive. They didn't go death due to explosives going off. They didn't get burnt by molten metal from the thermite raining down upon them. They didn't get die of radiation poisoning of some sort of buried nuke or anything like that. That building up and disappeared. Most of those people, they pretty much all walked out from there, and Pascal Buscelli, the 9/11 surfer that was on the 22nd floor, that was as high as the World Trade Center 3 of the Marriott Hotel, he fell 15 floors, landed on a perch, and he ended up being back home at 8 o'clock that night with his pregnant wife with only a broken ankle. So you explain to me how there are 80 floors above him just up and disappeared and didn't bury him for a couple of months.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I want to answer this. This person's Peter Simmons. Now he's saying he's an ex-demolitions, implosions, ex-army reserve. Okay, there's ex-army. So again, he's giving away that he's a troll. Ex-army reserve artillery or
He should know better.
Yeah, no, but also again, he's obviously he's likely another troll agent. He says you are incorrect. The dude did it all.
Oh my God!
But anyways, going back to the 108,000 trucks. Okay, so did 108,000 trucks?
Hang on a sec. Yeah, what I like to do with these people on my Substack when they come this nonsense about I'm a this, that, and the other, get him to send his details with his real name to you, and let's get a look at this guy. Send his credentials.
Let's see your credentials, Peter.
Give it over. Stop hiding behind a name. And give us your real details, and let's have a look at your documentation to prove it. Come on, Peter Simmons.
Yeah, definitely. But also another part is this is why I titled the video the exterior lobby columns. Yeah, prove it, Peter. So going back to this part right here. So he's saying 108,000 trucks took the steel away, but I'm like, this is the lobby column. This is the bottom there. So 108,000 trucks were able to take the steel in midair. So where are they? I'm trying to say is this is the bottom of the tower. The top is gone. So in other words, when you have something and it crushes itself, like it falls on down, the bottom doesn't tower above the top. So in other words, 108,000 trucks.
I quickly shared the article that I wrote about the controlled demolition expert that reached out to you, MES. And gave the rundown of how it's absolutely bull, that it was not due to explosives or anything like that. And that's a guy with 30 years experience in controlled demolition. So Peter Simmons, please go to my YouTube channel. You'll get my email address there and send me your credentials.
Yeah, definitely. This one, someone did. Yeah, I was trying to see what it was. Demolition.
Then we could invite Peter Simmons on into our chat, put his face on camera as well, and then we can all have a proper discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
They love hiding behind these fancy pictures and whatnot.
And even Richard Gage hasn't got the balls to take me on. None of the guys in the 9/11 Truth Movement have the balls to take me on. I've reached out to Craig McKee, Gene LaRotonda, Boston 9/11, Truth Action Project, all these guys. I've been hounding them for 3 years already to have a face-to-face. None of them have the balls to have an evidence-based discussion with regards to what they present and what Dr. Wood presents. End of story, because they know if they ever allow something like that to happen, their goose is cooked. Done for.
Yeah, they thrive in obscurity.
Yeah, definitely.
That's and in fact, I think there's a mystery element if you look at it from a psyops angle. The more obscure of a figure someone like Richard Gage is, the more unwitting people are going to trust him, right? But the more you know about him, the more personal you get. I think everything starts to look real fishy, and that's why I had my interview with two former employees with AE 9/11 Truth,
wow.
and they handled the books, they handled the accounting, and they said there are some very odd funds coming in. They can't say the source. They have no way of knowing the source, but they know that the funds just seem to come in exactly what's needed at the right time.
Yeah, every time.
I was just going to touch on that, Ryan. You it's a great point there, because regarding these funds, they're taking a lot of money from what I've seen of accounts that was sent to me, legitimate accounts, and they're getting people to pay for this psyop with their donations. Now, this investigation they keep calling for, I don't know, probably since 2007, since they were set up and so on with these other groups. But where's this investigation then? Where's it gone?
But Mark,
they took anything, they even took it to court.
With all the money that they're bringing in, the 2015 IRS filings is the only one that you can really find, and that was around about $750,000. Now, if they've got 3,500 architects and engineers and all of that kind of stuff, why the hell can't they do their own bloody investigation? Okay?
Exactly.
This report was bunk. The commission report was bunk. So maybe the third time we'll be lucky by asking the US government to investigate itself again.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
And then back to the Weldon guy. Yeah, so Weldon is the one running that, is like spearheading the new investigation thingy. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen the little detail I made on Weldon. So yeah, Ryan, have you seen the basically the background of Kurt Weldon, who's pushing the investigation? So he's one trying to push.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's heavily involved in directed energy.
Yeah. And he calls Judy Judith. It's like, what?
Yeah, where did Judith come from? That's crazy.
Well, it's because Judith is a Jewish name. Yeah, he's trying to push that she's Jewish. That's what his innuendo is.
She's Catholic.
Yeah.
I asked her directly, and she told me she's Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's Catholic? I've never heard her say that. She said that to you?
Yep.
Whoa, I gotta talk with her.
The thing is, with this, when you watch this video, what this guy's in Weldon, right? There's a lot of what they call psychological seeding and priming in that video. I can categorically tell you that because that's coming from my area of studies with psychology and stuff like that. This is what they do. This is what Richard Gage does. It's what they all do.
Mm-hmm.
And people fall for it, and it's a form of conditioning and seeding and priming people up. And once that is put into their consciousness and their subconsciousness, they cannot rid of it. They cannot break free from that. So once the thermite's gone in, once he's talking about what he did in that interview, from what I seen, is where he put Richard Gage above Judy Wood, Dr. Judy Wood. Now, Richard Gage is not a scientist, is he?
He's a Freemason. He's a 33-degree Freemason.
Exactly. But what he was doing.
Wait, is that proven?
To
Has
me,
that been proven?
In my opinion, to me it's proven, but it's not in court. You can have an alibi. His email is literally rgage33. rgage30. Like, his email is rgage33. Like, why is there a 33 in there? So again, that's his actual email. I have some more posts here, but anyways, we'll get back into the other. I'm trying to find, but also he does a hand sign nonstop. But anyways, and the architects and engineers logo is a Freemason logo. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
That's a real good point. The logo is oddly.
It's not just oddly. It's almost exact. Like the ruler marks match up exact. 9/11 Truth Freemason. I made a big giant one, and then. So the logo matches almost exactly. So here's the logo, and then if you rotate this is the generic Freemason one. Just go to Wikipedia and get it. And if you rotate the ruler marks match exactly. So you make the same size. These rulers match exactly this Freemason logo. And you just rotate it, so it's exactly. Yeah. So in my opinion, it's also his email is rgage33. It's 33. Why is it there for no reason? So again, in my opinion,
I almost doubt that's his real name. Like, that's where I'm at.
And is Richard?
I kind of doubt his whole identity.
Yeah, and also Richard is short for Dick. Like, and usually with Freemasons have like their obsession. They have an obsession with phallic symbols. Like even David Icke, like D-Ick, David Wilcock. A lot of these agents have like phallic symbol names. So Richard is short for Dick. I mean, it's long for.
But don't forget Stephen E. Jones is a Mormon. Yeah, and they use a lot of masonry type.
Well, the founder of Mormonism was Freemason. Joseph Smith was Freemason. Freemason. So he's a Mormon. Yes, Joseph was Latter-day was Freemason, and Aleister Crowley is a Freemason as well. So Aleister Crowley is a 33-degree Freemason, but then he wanted to create his own. So usually what happens is they get to the 33rd, and then that's when they can branch off to something they specifically are interested in. Like Aleister Crowley's interested in like sex magic, so he wants to focus strictly on. So Aleister Crowley. So what are the odds that Aleister Crowley, Joseph Smith, and every U.S. founder is a Freemason? Aleister Crowley, Freemason. Yeah, so and he was a 33rd degree. He wanted. He's saying that they weren't eating enough babies, maybe at the top level. Okay, he was initiated into what he believed was a regular Masonic lodge. Lodge was deemed irregular. So they're saying that is the question. But anyways, that's mainstream. But yeah, so he's a Freemason, and then he started becoming the most evil. Well,
it's my understanding that Freemasonry has a blood oath as its initiation, and that that indicates that these people might actually be unwittingly joining, but then once they're members, they're controlled by essentially fear.
And the way from I've looked a lot of it is so like every time you get a new degree, you also do a blood oath saying that like I'll get killed if I like you can cut my throat or whatever if I ever release a secret and so on. And it's kind of a way what they do is they root out the less psychopathic people, the ones that want to get even further and further up. Then they get invited up to the higher ranks. So some of them are like apparently if you get to the 32nd. So apparently my cousin's apparently 32nd degree Freemason. So that is when I found out I'm like my goodness. So anyway, and then he got in a car accident a month ago. So he's like in a coma. Oh, like it wasn't a coma. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, but apparently 32nd. Once you get above 32nd, is by invite only. So some of them are 32nd. They think they're doing good, or whatever, and they never get far. And then they, if the higher ones realize this guy's he's cut out to be in the top, like realizing to be like a full-on Luciferian, then you get chosen. So again,
also I think there's different levels of elevation between the Scottish Rite and the York Rite. Yeah, and I think there's another one.
Yeah, definitely. There's another. There's a lot of mumbo jumbos. So that's one thing. If I had Richard Gage on the show, I would ask him like, so Richard Gage. So anyways, let's cut the sham. Tell us about your Freemason secrets. I want to go.
And if he goes quiet and doesn't answer, then you know. Why would he be on the show? They don't give you an answer either way.
So Richard Gage, and the other part is, so he absolutely hates me. I'm not sure. I could tell just by his body language every time I join a Zoom call, because it's like he's like a big shot, but it's like he has to join the Zoom calls. He has to keep his grift. But it's like when someone else like we show up and we know that he's a giant clown. So he actually told me when I told him that there's very little heat on that, and I showed him photos of people walking on the rubble. He said that his presentation debunks my photos. I'm not sure if you've seen this, guys. I probably have. So he literally had a straight face and told me his presentation debunks my photos.
I think my presentation debunks your photos. I think my presentation debunks your photos.
I think my presentation debunks your photos.
Yeah. And then this Wayne Costa guy, when I was talking about like there's very little noise on WTC, so I'm pretty sure it was him. In the Zoom call, it was either him or another one of the disinfo agents literally said perhaps they were using like thermite, like advanced thermite, like explosive thermite that doesn't make sound. It was soundless thermite. I'm like, what? What planet am I in?
In 2023, Wayne Costa wrote his paper where he was trying to make the case for paint on thermite and how the exterior basically blew itself apart. And I had 6 questions there. It was in Colorado 9/11, and one of my questions was pertaining to the fact that you had the spires and everything still standing and not falling on the people, blah 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 blah. And he went on this whole tirade with regards to there not being any molten metal in the inner core and the steel that was actually taken away. So they debunks their own molten metal aspect. Gage was in the
I saw that.
in the chat trying to save his ass, and Richard Gage didn't even correct him on that. So again, and then Wayne Costa also said, okay, yeah, we don't know where the flight data recorders went. We don't know what happened to the core. Maybe things just disappeared, and we'll never know what happened to it. Read documents.
And on the Zoom call I joined with you guys, he denied the 0.6 seismic reading for Building 7.
Yeah,
He said the seismic signal was bigger than that, and he's actually referencing something that Dr. Wood referenced in her book. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's trying to debunk it because he hasn't been able to, and that's one of the things that Abraham called him out in 2011 on. And then in 2023, I ended up taking on Jonathan Cole, obviously Costa. I took on Ted Walters, all these guys, because at that stage they didn't really know about who I am. And when it comes to the 0.6, a short while ago on Boston 9/11, they had a guy trying to make the case for the heat-induced or fire-induced collapse of Building 7. And in the description, they said this guy who's doing this presentation is working with Richard Gage. So now you've got a guy pushing the fire-induced collapse. You've got Richard Gage trying to say it's controlled demolition. When I pointed out the question that I had for David Chandler on the seismic reading when he was on Richard Gage's show in 2023, Chandler said, oh, but I'm not a seismologist, but he's been lecturing on Building 7 going down for the last 15 odd years, but he hasn't got an answer for the seismic reading. And even when I asked Gage this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he mentions, oh, no, it was before the building went down. But still, the building went down. There's no seismic reading in relation to a 230,000-ton building hitting the ground. He doesn't answer that question because he can't.
Yeah. But also, they know that they don't want their grift / blood oath. Yeah, they're definitely ruled with fear. That's the thing. Freemasonry is ruled by fear. So again, they know full well. That's why now the revisionist you get like banned almost every time you join the show, join the Zoom call.
Is that the same guy that Costa that said that the lampposts at the Pentagon, the plane would have knocked them all down, 5 of them, and they're meant to go that way and fall down like that?
No, this is a completely new guy that they had on this Boston 9/11 talking about Building 7. David Chandler is the guy. David Chandler basically states no, but there was a piece of the wing sliced off, which is absolute bull because you can't see anything at the Pentagon.
Yeah, so I think the one, the other one, Mark Cullen, you're talking about the guy that looks like Voldemort. How do you spell Voldemort? Yeah, okay.
No, that's what's his face?
Aidan Monahan.
Aidan Monahan.
Yeah. So this is the guy that says remote planes. So what's interesting is, okay, so again, the disinformations are all very, very, very interesting. So this guy right here is named Aidan Monahan. He was saying that, he's the one that was saying that the Pentagon plane went through all the light poles or whatever, and it's not a big issue.
Did he say that?
Yeah, and this guy says, it goes through. And he also says that maybe they're having a stronger plane. Maybe it's a stronger plane or something. Because he's saying remote plane. And then, so he looks like him. But, and again, this was literally in the call. It's like, it's literally Voldemort from the, I think I mentioned, and his face is melting like Simon Cowell. Okay, Simon Cowell apparently is melting. Okay, so here's Simon Cowell. And Simon Cowell is also a Freemason, so that's interesting. So here's him riding a Freemason, scooter, water scooter or whatever. So that's him. But I'm going to go back to the Voldemort thingy there. So what's interesting is, so anyways.
Can you just go up a sec there? I've just seen that comment. What was that comment there, Matt?
This one?
There. Yeah, is that
that's Aidan. So this guy actually joined our comment on the. This was my live stream with you. So 9/11 planes researcher joins the show. He says hologram and death rays at 9/11. Now, why didn't I think of that? I'm like, stop acting dumb, Aidan. So again, Aidan, I want to call. I said that this information.
Just to be fair to Aidan though, because I don't want him to think that I'm slating him, because he did quite a good bit of work early on with them freedom of information requests regarding the plane parts not being matched.
Okay, that's good.
To the 4 name plane. So I know we differ on things, but he did do some good, just for balance, you know, he did do some good things like that with the freedom of information requests. You know, I've never really ditched him, but that's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah,
he follows me on Substack.
Oh no, it's not. No, but again, yeah, you're nicer than than I.
Yeah, you guys.
Well, I just go if he comes to me with a sarcastic comment, like I don't go to him and attack him. Like if he wants if he wants to make a good point, he can. I'll be respectful of that. But if he's doing this, well, I'm just saying. I didn't even say that. I just stopped acting dumb. I'm like he's ignoring my evidence. But also but it's like, but also like even though he's doing good, but he's the elephant in the room. The towers turn to dust.
Yes.
There's some photos. That's it.
And my whole point is that the time of being nice to these people is gone. It's been 23 years. These guys are making a living on bullshitting people.
Yeah.
Okay. How much money has A&E brought in? If in 2015, 1 year alone, it was $750,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. What did Dr. Wood do? She used all her savings to print a book. She went to court and did everything that she could humanly possible to bring the information out there. And she didn't go on world tours asking huge sums of money and all of that kind of stuff for people to come listen to her stuff. But every week you get a new bloody email from A&E stating, oh, we need money for this, we need money for that, we need money for this. What the fuck are you doing with the money?
That reminds me, wasn't it about a year ago that James Corbett said he was going to look into Dr. Judy Wood? Or
no, he's never done that. His sidekick, I don't know what the guy's name is, Media Monarchy or whatever. He's mentioned once or twice in videos that he's now gone back to listening to interviews between Fetzer and Dr. Wood, and he says that Fetzer is completely and utterly disingenuous, and he's at the point where he's starting to apologize for the fact that he's never given a credence. But then you've got James Corbett just sitting there nodding away, but he doesn't say anything. I've emailed him numerous times, but he won't ever touch on that. There's a huge part in the 9/11 Observable Evidence series, basically pointing out how disingenuous James Corbett is. I don't think he'll ever apologize or ever look into Dr. Wood's work, or if he does, he won't admit to it publicly.
Yeah, no, but he's also part of their whole group. 89 Truths is literally promoting his book tour. James Corbett and Elite Control and New World Order. This is last one.
But have you noticed Redacted? You know what's his name? Russell Brand. All these big names. They'll have people like Dan Hanlon and that fellow with the strange hair and Ted Wontrell. They won't have anybody on like us or Dr. Judy Wood.
It's what I call.
They'll entertain these people who are pushing stuff that's, in my opinion, irrelevant.
Yeah, and also some of it's flat out lies. Like Redacted has Ashton Forbes, and they call him a physicist. I'm not sure if you know Ashton Forbes. Ashton Forbes is literally it's like the most like a blatant grifter, like disinfo agent, but nobody cares because he's pretty funny. He's like,
is that the guy who done the teleportation thing?
Yeah. So he was on Redacted. So it's like he's on Redacted. See what else? I think Redacted Ashton. So Redacted was on Ashton. They had Ashton Forbes on there. So going right here. So it's like he gets millions of views. MH70 solved the shocking evidence that changed everything we were told, and he has this clown there. It's like this is what I like. Yeah, what I like about him
these are the type of podcasts that are helping to control the narrative, like Redacted, like Russell Brand, who had 9/11 people on and pushing the fake narrative.
And Russell Brand is obsessed with like presenting himself as Jesus. So he's literally like again, it's like a whole Freemasonic thingy. Russell Brand. Yeah. So if you go Russell Brand, it's like Jesus complex. or Messiah Cullen. He's literally his entire.
No, that guy just loves listening to his own bloody voice. He did this so-called deep dive earlier this week into 9/11. It was an hour and 45 minutes on his Rubble channel. The first hour was just a bunch of fucking waffling with no substance. One of his guys on his team actually thinks a plane caused the damage on the day. And I don't know, maybe they did something in the last 45 minutes, but to go through the whole 9/11 event in 45 minutes, come on, what the hell are you trying to do?
Well, you do realise that this has been stepped up. I know you do, Norman. You do a lot of articles about this stuff, and recently the Russell Brand one. All these people have been stepped up. Recently in the last couple of years, to counter.
Yeah, they're counting us.
They're countering us.
It's literally us.
That's what they're doing.
They're literally using the same footage we were using for years for Do, and now they're saying they're spinning it for their own stuff. And one example is the Richard Gage Rubble. I think this was what was the Jennings? What's the guy's name? Jennings, the one who says where's the Rubble evaporated?
Barry Jennings. No, Peter Jennings.
Yeah. Peter. This was the clip of George Stephanopoulos. Yeah. So Richard Gage goes viral posting this now, like last year, 1.5 million views. The day after 9/11, lead ABC anchor Peter Jennings asked a question that wasn't supposed to ask, and the answer was beyond belief. What does it reveal about the 9/11 attack? So it's like they give you little breadcrumbs 20 years later, after way ahead of it's because it's like our content is going viral, and mainly because of Norman taking over the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they need to like spin it. They need to grab hold of everything that we push and then to spin it. So you can see a lot of stuff he shares. He says, "Oh, where's all the rubble?" His reasoning is that it was exploded 600 feet, even though the towers themselves are 200 feet. So it's like 600 feet is just 3 tower widths. Where that's like, and
the thing is, the science, what Dr. Judy Wood showed alone with the seismic data. With the S and the P waves not being present, absolutely proves there was no controlled demolition.
No, definitely.
It wasn't a controlled demolition.
And what you were saying is that those guys that are trying to debunk that, what they actually do is they just show that same seismic data. They just zoom in on the spike, saying, "Look, there was a big seismic sign," but they ignore all the context that that's actually not big. So it's like
plus they won't explain the primary and surface waves.
They just ignore it. Yeah.
The S and P wave. They don't go into detail about that because that is the most damning. Look, it was because the buildings turned to dust. The bedrock it came back up. It sprang up like a bed. That was what caused the seismic reading, not explosions or stuff falling to the
And the thing is, the mainstream all say it as well. Like the seismic, it's like even if you listen to the news report, read between the lines, and sometimes read the actual lines. This was from the mainstream Columbia Climate School. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. Seismologist Wan Ying Kim says most of the energy of the towers did not reach the ground. So what is he actually saying exactly? Instead, it was used to turn up the steel, concrete, and people in the dust. So he says that event was recorded by 13 seismic stations in 5 states, including one Lisbon. And Kim calculated that most of the energy did not reach the ground. What does that mean? Nothing's falling? It was mainly used... Yeah, he's saying the energy was used up converting steel, concrete, and human beings to dust. Like, what? What?
The other thing is, the first plane caused a seismic rumble longer than the building itself falling to the ground.
No, that's amazing. That's...
Wait, so this guy is trying to make it consistent with the official story?
Yeah. Like even when the mainstream says that the towers vaporized, just somehow they pulverized into dust or something. It's like this is guy. Yeah, this guy is saying.
I feel like he's almost supporting what Dr. Wood's saying.
No, he is
in an indirect way, right?
No, that's what I mean. It's like they tell you there. It's like it's literally in plain as day. This is most energy.
Like this is how far. They have to reach this far to try to support the official story, and it's like they're basically affirming what we're affirming.
Well, let me just interject there. The guy who done these reports to do with the seismic, he also done Flight 93, right, at Shanksville.
Oh, really?
And and the rumble there, the seismic reading there was read for 10:06, not 10:03, when they say the crash happened. So they lent on them, and I think reluctantly they tried to spin it because they didn't want the 10:06. Witnesses said it was 10:06, but for some reason the official narrative wanted 10:03, and I think that was to fit with other things in their planning to do with whatever the simulations or whatever they were doing. But they lent on this guy, this Wong, and the other guy as well. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. Been that long, but
wow, that's fascinating insights. But yeah, so this guy right here again, they tell you straight up, and again about the seismic one. I think the one I got it from you, Mark, is a Pentagon electrical disturbance.
Oh god, yeah.
So this is these are just mainstream reports. So Flight 77 Pentagon quote plane impact had seismic signals that were too high frequency and amplitude to be associated with a plane impact, but instead maybe due to electrical disturbances. So this is there appears to be strong seismic signals at 9:38 at station. This one, the signals are too high frequency again and too high amplitude. It says right here, noise perhaps due to electrical disturbances. Like what? Like, and I included this in the and they're just saying that according to their expert testimony, that basically it's too high magnitude, is too big, and too high frequency. It's supposed to be like
but
an actual one's supposed to be like more of a sine wave. I'm assuming.
Just note between 9:37 and 8:38, which was the time when they said that the impact happened. Look, you've got absolutely nothing going on, much going on there. This is all going on towards the end of 9:38. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what's all that about then? That should be further back.
This one right here?
9:38.
Yeah, this is 9:38. When was the actual impact exactly?
They said 9:37.
Oh, 9:37.
Just before 9:38. Yeah. This electrical disturbance shows up then. This is also consistent with what I feel with them, all the clocks and stuff stopping and whatnot, what they had going on with
and
them.
the other part is
quick question also with regards to the Pentagon is how could a plane or a missile that people want to think that possibly was it cause fires that the firemen couldn't put out and then spontaneously erupted again during the course of the day? You've got that live shot later on in the evening where they've got the Pentagon and then all of a sudden the fires just started flaring up again.
Well, you don't. See, the other myth, what you're touching on there, Norman, is with the roof damage, what we put in the Alchemy film, what we highlighted in there, they've tried to speak, people and the official reports, when you look at some of the official documents, they try and spin it that the roof was lined with horsehair, and that's why it caught fire and fire spread and caused all that damage, which is inconsistent with the plane crash, by the way. But horsehair is deliberately used because it's not flammable. It's a good fire retardant.
Wow.
So they've inverted what it really does. People will repeat that the horsehair caught fire and spread through the roof. But you've only got to look what happened further up the building when you had what I consider was some type of thermal blooming happening at the time of the so-called impact. But as you pointed out as well, Norman, if it was a missile and it was or a plane, none of the foundation was damaged on that Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
why is that floor no damage, no scraping? There's nothing.
Yeah, and in any case, we've got Adam Eisenberg, who was an infantryman who was tasked with a cleanup. He spent 230 hours there. He saw the charred bodies and everything that looked a lot like you had in Star Wars in Iraq and what happened in the Gulf War. Where they were using microwave weapons as well. And he said these people had really weird injuries on them. and
Yes.
they seemed to be burnt, but their clothes were fine.
Yeah.
And never mind April Gallup, who crawled out of the hole, who stated that there's nothing there. The first guy who rocked up there within 5 minutes with a video camera also said there wasn't anything like a plane, and the 9/11 Commission never even interviewed this guy. And he was a journalist.
Yeah, and also again the Pentagon. Look at the roof damage. Like, well, the entire roof is like damaged somehow, and nowhere near the actual impact site. So it's like, all right. And Rotary Matrix says any clips of Adam MES. I'm not sure if I made any short ones here, but Norman probably has. But I want to show.
Go check on my Telegram channel in my Pentagon subgroup and just search his name. There should be some there, and then also where he talks about his interactions with the bloody 9/11 Truth Movement.
Yeah, I think that's important that you quickly mention that with Gage. What happened when he wanted Adam to give that presentation?
Yeah, basically
what
ended up is he did a presentation for Richard Gage just after he got kicked out of A&E. Then he was planning to host a Pentacon event, had a bunch of speakers lined up, and then he said, Adam, I'm going to give you 15 minutes only, where the other people got like an hour and a half or 2 hours to present. And then after Adam K would possibly come on, he would have Greg Jenkins come up to debunk him. And Gage basically told him that if you mention anything about your Orion project or your activism or anything like that, I'm going to cut off your mic and I'll kick you out.
Holy.
So then he basically just told Gage to go sit on it and rotate. So yeah, he hasn't got anything good to say, and he's been chronicling his interactions with Dan Handley, Barbara Honegger, David Chandler, all these guys since 2020 when he started reaching out and started doing some of his own research. And he's also writing a book now where he's basically going to expose all these 9/11 truthers and basically put his communications with them in his book, a lot like Andrew Johnson did with chronicling the 9/11 truth movement from 2005 to 2019 in his two books, 9/11 Finding the Truth and 9/11 Holding the Truth. So if you want to learn anything about all the limited hangouts, all the history of all these guys subverting the truth, guys like alien scientists, all the guys in the alternative media since 2005 up to 2019, go download Andrew Johnson's 2-3 ebooks. I'll quickly put the links in in the chat.
And you can also search on my Telegram, like alien scientists, for example. Because I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Mark or Ryan. So do you guys know? Yeah, so alien scientist. There's actually court documents of his wife saying that he beat her up. So, and they're and he also has a military, and also in the court document says that he was in the military. He had to do an affidavit for his court document that he was in the military. So again, and there was like a custody battle for the kid. So again, it's what I'm trying to say. It's not a coincidence that disinfo agents are also like bad people in their own personal life. But also, I want to show this one again. When you think of Pentagon, I never like focus on the Pentagon because I'm like, it's just like you just look at this photo and it's like, what are you supposed to do? This is an actual theory, like mainstream animation of what was supposed to happen. Like what, like this did not happen at like 450 miles an hour or 530. That's 100 miles an hour faster than I thought. So again, it struck 5 light bulbs, a generator, and then it ignores the wing and ground effect. So wing and ground, basically air gets compressed and it becomes like a cushion. So it's like they don't have that. The air density is 3 times higher than cruising altitude, and it's 116 miles an hour faster than the max velocity, and then this 190 over the this is maneuvering velocity or the limit, and also. Now for one of the alleged hijackers, driver's license was found, and it was found like in the parking lot when they were doing cleanup. So again, this.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you believe in Father Christmas and Santa Claus
and the Tooth
then
Fairy,
you'll
don't
believe-
forget about the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. This is like an Adidas ad. Impossible is nothing. This
I
is
mean,
just-
the real answer though is we need to start constructing buildings out of licenses and passports.
Yeah, but definitely.
Yeah.
I actually have one. A passport.
That's
strongest
that's the people were talking about making houses against tornadoes. So I think that might be the answer.
And also the red bandana.
Amy-
Red bandana is also.
MES, just do me a quick favor if you can. Just check your Telegram private chat from me and just play that little clip there so that we can show this Peter Simmons, the controlled demolition expert, the lack of rubble, please, because you're still waffling on about the enough rubble and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also Peter, he's also he keeps saying that he's in the military and all this stuff. Again, if he wasn't such a lovable clown, we kicked him out. He's like, it's like a handicap. Again, I have a handicapped brother, so it's like I'm used to the nonsense. So when I see these disinfo trolls, it's kind of like, oh, he's mouthing off again.
Matt, give him a link to come on here.
Oh,
Get
really?
his webcam on and let's have him on.
Okay, I'll ask him.
I think it would be entertaining.
Okay, Peter.
Yeah, but first play the lack of debris, man. Come
I'll
on,
play it here.
don't
I'll play this right now.
Stephanopoulos is down in Lower Manhattan today. George, I don't know if you heard a little earlier me raise this question, which was actually raised by ABC's Jackie Judd as we look at these areas down below. When you look at where the towers used to stand, there is surprisingly so little rubble. Where did all the rubble go?
It's a very good question, Peter, and I have asked some people who've been doing some of the rescue and recovery work this morning. If you look behind me, you can see the very remains, the skeletal remains of the World Trade Center, and one volunteer...
Is it not playing the video?
It's not playing the video, man. Why isn't it playing the video? Just refresh it.
Yeah, but I can just go to that in the actual video right here in the part 35. Peter Jennings right here. This is what I like about YouTube. You can put the timestamps and you can find it. There it is.
Yeah, but the picture that they show out of it's from the documentary where the towers go 2.0, where they show the pictures that the guy used in Irrefutable. That's why that clip is so important, because it's
it has a TV
overhead that shows you the lack of rubble that's there.
Okay, but I thought wasn't this the full video there? But I know you actually I think I know where to find it. But it was, so this Peter Simmons guy, he didn't answer my. You want to join my Telegram? I said join the call. He says that both do and ordnance. Okay, explosives. You mean like what's an ordnance? Okay. Yeah.
Wait, now he's just
ice elevators. He's a
contradicting.
bloody Richard Gage groupie, man.
Yeah, so Peter Simmons.
He's contradicting himself. He earlier said there was no do. Now he's saying it's do and something else. He's a kitchen sinker.
What was it? I thought he was a. No, he was saying, dude, in my opinion, both ordnance. Again, it's like just talk normally. He was along with cruise missile hitting Pentagon. But again, he's a clown. He's saying that the all ACE elevators were in the core prior, loading it months prior. Bush brother run WTC. And he says, Wolf Rage, why we call it Matthew Solutions if it's all by 9/11? No offense, really, just curious. No, Matthew Z is the. I started this before to teach myself math and so on. But again, 9/11. I don't do it all the time. This is just the past 2 videos in a while. But yeah. So Matthew Z, and also the name Math is actually the
part of your name.
Yeah, it's part of my name. It's actually Matthew Easy Solutions. Easy Solutions. It's actually Matthew, but the math is a trick. It's just basically anything I want to do. But again, math, I use it to teach myself math and also teach others. It's like a mental workout. So yes, I mean, yes.
I'll admit I thought it was a weird juxtaposition early on before I realized your name is Matthew. Then I'm like, oh, it all comes together. Okay.
Yeah, but initially I was teaching math all day, and remember I have like thousands of videos, so it's like I have 1,000 math videos, but even though I have a lot of 9/11 videos, it's still like less than 10% of the total. And also, if you go 9/11, 9/11 is also 0.818 and 9 divided by 11 is also 0.81818. So again, there is some math in there as well. So out of all the conspiracies, it has to be the one with math. Okay, Matt will help with math posts and interesting. And also, if you join my Wednesday streams, I do. I actually do math, science, technical stuff, like live answering on air. So I'm all over the place. So I want to go back into. So you want to do the overhead, but I think I have it earlier when I posted this.
Well, even if you've just got pictures, that was used in.
Yeah, but I want to play it because I did share this because I made this video and then I uploaded this. This was the. I think this was, let's say, ground level, I think, or desk. Yeah, this one here, deputy. No, this was way before. He never saw a desk. Okay, so I made one because I know you shared you in the comment. I'll just go to it, and I was doing it for my video. Where did I upload it to? Yeah, this one right here. So I got this here and then you
It
put
is hard to
you put it in
conceive.
actually you put it in the comment. There it is. This is the video. So I think it will work now. So this is like a Rubble. We'll see what this play.
Stephanopoulos is down.
What the hell?
It's not playing. It's not playing. So I'm gonna have to refresh.
Why isn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe that particular file just uploaded with an error.
Yeah, so something went wrong. Yeah, so you have to get that. But anyways, what I'm trying to say, when you look at the overhead stuff, and also again speaking about disinfo agents and now it's like new level. You know how like Richard Gage now is pushing he's sharing some of the stuff we use to prove that towers turn to dust. And similar with Hughes, so now it's like they now again. I think Hughes is a double agent. It's like they have Hughes now, willing to say.
Yeah, but we'll take him on. We'll take him on with our symposium in September. We just need to start finalizing that.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Because
he basically debunks himself because he talks about the sphere that's not crushed, but at the same time he wants to fucking make the point. No, but the debris that fell is what caused the damage. Yeah. Like, just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And then, the whole thing, how could there be ongoing effects if they've got one of the pools switched off? Like, dude, really? They didn't care about all the people inhaling all of that dust after 9/11. Do you think that if there's something going on that can affect people, that they will tell people, okay, sorry, we're cleaning the pool, so you've got to go away because something can happen to you?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you guys, so Ryan and Mark, have you guys seen Hughes' like recent article saying that these twin towers falling is what caused the building 4 to slice in half, or like more than half, and then building 5 having circular holes, and then building 6 having a giant hole in the center. But he doesn't know why the sphere is not crushed.
I haven't seen him say that, but it sounds pretty wild.
This is the newest article after he visited the site.
Yeah, so here's an article from him. He says, to be honest, I do not understand why the east-facing wall of the North Tower did not destroy the quote sphere. And also, he also says that there's nothing special, or no, he's saying that the hurricane and the magnetometer data is speculative and basically nothing there. And anyways, so he drew out the building, the twin towers falling, and he drew the impact zone. The center of both of the impact zone, the biggest impact was the sphere. The sphere is where it's again. I
mean, he's certainly not like a civil engineer, right?
No,
I mean, what is actually
his German
training?
studies? I think it's German studies. He's like a doctor and professor in German studies or something.
He's a language expert.
But also again,
he's actually got a doctorate in German studies.
Yeah, so German
like
studies.
like the culture, like just German.
Yeah, like history.
What is that?
Yeah,
okay,
interesting. And he thinks the Hollow Oaks happened.
Hey, just careful of the wording. He thinks of the event that happened down 100 years ago actually happened.
Well, so what I found interesting about David Hughes, at first I thought it was great. He seemed like he was very supportive of Dr. Wood. He was giving her credit, and I like it didn't seem like he was taking her work and running with it. But the more I've looked at it, I mean, he reminds me far too much of Fetzer.
Oh, yeah. And, Andrew Johnson said that too. Andrew Johnson said that exactly.
And using, like, it's weird how he does credit her work, it does seem to be like something that's been brought into the mix, which is like, well, we're actually going to credit her.
Yeah.
Okay. But the problem is then he is essentially taking her work and running with it by saying that he agrees with her, but then he like does this weird shift on these various points. Like he wants to say cold fusion bombs. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know where that comes from. I could almost follow him on that point, but then I'm just thinking, why even say that? You know,
Yeah, but
and
it's,
then
it's a play. Well, what he's doing is doing a play. There's this other guy. What the hell was his name? He was also on Boston
making it
9/11,
debunkable,
and this guy is a Mason as well.
Oh,
when he did his presentation, he started it off with confirming that he's a Mason, and he wants to say no, but he's building upon Dr. Wood's work because, according to him, there was some sort of fusion nuclear type devices in the building or whatever, and Dr. Wood didn't do enough work and all of that. You've got to go onto Boston 9/11. What's that guy's name? It's Malcolm something or other. I can't remember. Because what Hughes also argues is that he takes into account some of Palmer's work, but he doesn't agree with the thermal aspect of nukes because it was a cold event type thing. Strangely enough, when he was talking with a lady with the name of Marianne Gabawa, he basically referenced me and told her that she should possibly reach out to me and discuss it with me. And I did a presentation with her, doing the whole aspect of debunking Gage and the controlled demolition aspect, bringing in the cold fusion, and the work that was done there. And he actually reposted and said that my presentation was really good. And he then also did a presentation on the Solari report with Catherine Austin Fitz. And that was after she was on Tucker Carlson talking about breakthrough energy and the dangers of it being weaponized and all of that kind of aspect, and that she was at the 2012 Breakthrough Energy Conference. It was friends of hers that actually set that up. Andrew Johnson confirmed that he actually spoke to her after Dr. Wood's presentation and all of that, but she didn't mention Dr. Wood or anything like that with relating to 9/11 in the Tucker show. And then Hughes went on to her Solari report, had an interview with another lady where he was also pointing out the disingenuousness of Jones and Gage and all of those guys. And he actually referenced a group chat that he was in, where he was in with Kevin Ryan, Gage and somebody else. And when he actually asked Gage about the Freon tanks that were in the basements that didn't explode due to the so-called fires in the basements and all of that kind of stuff, Gage told him, oh, but he doesn't even know about the Freon tanks. So, Fetzer vibes in a way, but I want to take him on face-to-face and have this conversation, because he promised me that we will have a discussion in the third quarter of this year, and then we can hear from him, and we can put all of this in front of him, and then have him explain himself.
Yeah, definitely. And also, you said he promised you. Well, it reminds me of a certain Jean Laratanda that promised you.
My best buddy in the fucking world.
Yeah, but I want to go further on this on Hughes. Yeah. So I didn't know about the cold explosion thingy. So he's actually, what I think he's doing is putting debunkable stuff that then you can brush aside all of Judy Wood's work. If you're gonna say there's devices there with that had cold explosions or something, that's easily debunkable because, well, there's no evidence of actually a thingy there.
Even emailed to him, I told him what you are now busy with is you're busy muddling up the evidence. So what the hell are you actually trying to achieve here?
Yeah, and also, and so here's from his article. He says, evidently it was the steel from WTC that was primarily responsible for slicing WTC in two. This does not look like steel hitting it. And also, steel hitting it would mean the seismic impact would be big. To be able to...
But the steel lying on the ground over there is level to the floor. There's not a rubble pile there. There's a couple of singular pieces of steel lying flat on the ground. That building disappeared.
No,
It wasn't
this is
crushed
like
by
a
falling debris.
Yeah.
I think this is a Dave von Kleist problem. So when you if you just imagine the steel frame that would make up the building, and then you take like a giant steel beam, right, and you try to drop it on it, do you, like, how high up does it need to drop from to slice through? It does, like, obviously it won't, right? Obviously it won't. That's just not happening. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a logical thing, but it's also just physically ridiculous. So but with, you know, if you take the Dave von Kleist explanation, the egg through a wall of sheetrock, you know, then you just raise it up high enough. I guess if it falls from the 110th story, then it'll slice through. Physics changes somehow.
Yeah,
and no size.
And if you throw a piece of steel when it hits the ground, also it's just going to vaporize.
Yeah, but again, we don't have we're not as expert as Hughes. He has a doctorate in German studies. So anyways, so similarly, he also wrote, similarly, it doesn't take a genius to work out what did most of the damage to WTC3. And this is the exact same, like the falling debris, ignoring that it's turning to dust. And look at the thick dust trailing it.
There's actually a picture.
This is Jean Lartanda. Yeah, Jean Lartanda said the exact same thing to me. He says buildings 3, 4, 5, and 6, in my opinion, were rained down by massive amounts of steel. I'm not going to argue with you on this, and then he just left. But then also keep going further, guys. Sometimes falling.
But the thing is, what happened? Remember in December we had this whole massive email to and fro with the truther. Talking heads all melting down. I wrote an article about it and the to and fro that we had there, and Jean Lartanda then called me out and said, "Oh, but let's have a discussion on my war room Zoom tonight, and everybody in this email trail can come and join, and let's discuss this." And nobody bloody will showed up except another guy from Scotland or wherever. And I showed videos of the inner core where you had pieces of what used to be steel falling on top of one another and just fizzling into dust right there. And he still denied what he was being shown, and that shows you how disingenuous those guys are. They will never admit that they are wrong.
And even in his work,
also, it seemed that he was engaging in an argument from intimidation, which is I don't think it's a formal logical fallacy, but the idea is, like, you would say, like, honest people agree with this point, and it's like, well, so what does that imply? That implies everyone else is dishonest, that disagrees with my point.
Yeah, but he keeps on going on, no, but I'm this big Christian, and we all should come together and just agree that it wasn't fire. Yeah. Sorry, but it wasn't bombs or thermite either.
And again, this is his 9/11 war room. It's not some 9/11 playroom where he says you can't talk about anything else but that it wasn't fire. I'm like, what?
But also on the Facebook pages that he and his now wife, Sandra, actually managed in their rules and regulations. They basically state you're not allowed to talk about the things that fly in the air, and you're not allowed to talk about directed energy weapons, because it's been thoroughly debunked.
And yeah, there's some questions in the chat, and also the Peter guy's gone nuts. But I want to go again further on to Hughes. So he says right here, sometimes falling steel offers a powerful enough explanation, and he says WTC 5 stood where, and he says because it was further away from the towers than the other buildings, that's why it didn't get as much damage. And then again, he's saying that what we find here corresponds fairly close to the actual damage. And then he also says he doesn't know why the sphere wasn't damaged at all, even though it's in the highest area. And also, Building 4, Judy Wood said that's her favorite building. So that because of just how ridiculous, like, the damage is. It's all ground level except this little piece there for some reason.
Well, that's what I was trying to highlight. This idea that you just have a beam coming down and cutting through it like an X-Acto knife. It's actually insane to think about. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And then also in this first article saying that it's like in support of Judy Wood, he puts a limitations of Judy Wood, like a full chapter on there, a full section at the bottom. He says Wood's work is not without its limitations. So it's again, he's trying to be like the new expert. And also, I'm gonna state again what I think they're trying to base him off, and I'll get done a bit. But he says,
also he also doesn't really talk about the work of John Hutchinson.
Yeah, he avoids it
That's
completely. Yeah.
also mentioned to him. And Dr. Wood covers John Hutchinson in the links with regards to his work and the static field that is needed for the intersecting of the field effects and all of that aspects, and that ties into that's what makes it relevant. The fact that they didn't talk about Hurricane Erin, the fact that the hurricane stood still for 24 hours with constant wind speeds, wind pressures, and all of that kind of aspects. And NASA was following it. 10 universities were following it. And with the ISIS guys coming overhead and looking down, they didn't mention anything about this massive hurricane that was bigger than the size of Katrina being parked off the coast. And once again, you've got to look at all the evidence, all the anomalies, everything that wasn't really mentioned that day, and you can't just discard that. And that's the main thing that Dr. Wood argues. You've got to look at all the evidence, not just selective.
I'll be back.
What Norman just highlighted. Oh, sure.
You guys can go.
What Norman just. Sweet. What you're highlighting there is a real important point. That is exactly what Fetzer was trying to sidestep. When Dr. Wood was bringing in the Hutchison effect and the hurricane, that's when Fetzer seemed to turn on her. And it was like down to like not even mentioning it, right? He basically went off on it, and from that point forward, it was like any mention of the Hutchison effect was met with ridicule, and that's when he started to entertain like all these different theories, you know.
And Ryan, who did he use to help him try and discredit Hutchison? Ace Baker.
Ah, yeah, yep.
Yeah. That shell.
Which, I mean, are they not discredited from that whatever fake suicide call?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I guess we're supposed to think that was a surprise for Fetzer, but I think they're discredited on a number of points.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Baker discredited himself anyway with his what he put forward with that Luma key and all the compositing that didn't work, and he still clung to that even though it was completely shown that Luma key, in the compositing of the Chopper 5 video, it just wouldn't work out. But he never corrected that mistake, of course.
I feel like you could be entirely uninitiated into anything 9/11, and if all you studied was the opposition to Dr. Judy Wood, you would still come to the answers.
Oh yeah.
Because it would be they're just so, well, how could I put it? Taken in isolation, any of these individuals or the events that we could name are not necessarily exposing these individuals. But when you take the whole panorama of how these people have attacked her over the years, and exactly the points they sidestep, exactly the points they want to attack, or Gage trying to say, oh, the 0.6 seismic reading isn't correct. Well, why is he taking issue with that?
Yeah. Why is he trying to debunk that?
And also, yeah, I'm back. So how is he on Alex Jones' clone show? Like, this is not Alex Jones. How is he going there?
Isn't that crazy how different Alex looks now? Like, yeah, what?
He went from Bill Hicks. Yeah, he went from Bill Hicks to some random person.
That male vitality changes you from the genetic level.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Jones also Freemason. They do the hand sign a lot. But yeah, so. Again, so I'm not sure what you guys were.
Wait, there's something interesting that we need to mention with regards to Jones. A while back on his Facebook, I saw him make a reference to the California fires and everything, and he said, "This is how you do it."
Yeah.
DEW.
Yeah, Jones. So again, they all know. Now it's like after the California fires, once they put hot dew in the public sphere. So this is Stephen E. Jones. He wrote, look at the before and after photos of the paradise. This is literally Stephen E. Jones' Facebook page. And he put it the day before my birthday. Like, what? It's like okay. So this is a very interesting. My birthday is January 15th. My brother's birthday is January 14th. So he posted this on the day before my birthday. He says, look at the before and after photos of Paradise, California, saying, see anything strange? And he says, as the dew from heavens descending, do what is right. Do you see what I see? All right. So that's the Stephen E. Jones, the paint on thermite. And again, going back, this is about the Hughes guy. So I think Hughes he has a fake persona, and I think they're basing it. They're basing a bit of his persona on me. And the reason is there's a clip that you showed, Natalie Revisionist, when it discussed how he came across Judy Wood's work. He said that he got it in like 2016 or 2017 while watching Andrew Johnson and Richard Hall. If you could send me that clip, I need to find it. And that's literally me. That's how I came across Judy Wood in like 2016, 2017. When
that was during his interview with the Solari report in the introduction.
Yeah, because I want to clip that out. I want to clip that because I've been saying that in my life.
If you go onto Andrew Johnson's Odyssey, he ripped the whole conversation without the stupid edits and stuff that I did, because I went onto Hughes's Substack and then I could only clip like 5 minutes at a time. So
because I just wanted that little clip there. Yeah. I wanted that clip because
the whole conversation is
because you shared it somewhere on Telegram.
Andrew Johnson's Odyssey.
Yeah, so I wanted to so basically because I saw that from your Telegram somewhere, then I couldn't find it again because I want to make a little clip of it. Because I'm pretty sure they're using my narrative, which I've been saying in the live stream past like a few years, that I came across it literally in 2016, 2017 while watching Richard Hall and Andrew Johnson. And then they brought up Judy Wood's book, and I'm like, what the? So I'm like, and then he says the exact same thing word for word. I'm like, what? Am I being like watched?
Unbelievable. That's just mad.
Yeah, so that's one thing is absolutely Hughes. Is this his Odyssey? I don't see it.
No, not on Hughes's Odyssey. Andrew Johnson's.
Oh, this is Andrew Johnson. This is David. This is check the evidence.
So we just.
But we
I'm
can go
looking
that
for that clip real quick. Wait.
No, but the
You'll
thing
see
is,
interview with Elise Van. Then there's the second one.
Okay.
That's Hughes's presentation.
Oh, okay. But anyways, we also I want to like try to hurry things up because I'm gonna have people over in a bit. So I'll go over this, and I still want to go once we place, and then I want to go over to the that mainstream video, that mainstream the physics one. The guy's saying that. I'll see where did it go.
I'm uploading the short little clip where he.
Yeah. If you could put it on the Telegram, I could just go and look at it.
I'm putting it on Telegram now. I just hope it plays.
Okay, and then I want to go over. Okay, this was the notes. Yeah. I'm gonna close some stuff. So we went over this, guys. But I want to go over and then afterwards this physics one just to illustrate how ridiculous this is. The civil engineering again. It's kind of like whoops. Oh, I put the wrong link. That's why. No, this is where it is. No, that was the right link. This is the one. This is the 11 million views. And there's another one that was saying that aluminum was the key to building turning to dust. Aluminum plane. Anyways, okay, so you send it over here.
Where
am I going? Why can't I just go back? Okay, so this is the video. Let's play. Unfortunately, this can't be played on Telegram app. Oh, I think it's because your files are massive when you play. I don't know why your files are massive.
This is a small file, man. It's.
I'll have to play it on my other thing. It says 151. I'll just find it in here. If do you know where it is in here?
It's right at the beginning with the intro where we start talking to him. Ask him where does he.
Okay.
Can we go through some of that evidence? Some of the.
To understand is the gold standard. Is the gold it? And
another thing about disinfo agents, what I've found is their speaking ability is like highly polished. It's not like ours. Again, apologies to everybody. It's not like ours where it's kind of like we seem like normal people, and I have a laughing problem. So it's like these guys are just like perfect.
No, you're way too happy, man. You've got to really get unhappy.
Like this guy looks like he's depressed and looks like he went through some sort of
right. It's like a prepared TED Talk, the way they talk.
Yeah, and it's always like even Ashton Forbes for the MH370 side, it's like perfected. It's like no way is he doing that and speaking well. Like even Judy Wood.
Yeah, Okay, but he makes a statement in around about the first minute.
Okay, yeah, we'll get in a bit. Yeah. So basically, and compared with Judy Wood, it's like you can tell Judy Wood's a bit like a bit nerdy, quirky, or whatever. It's like you can tell she's a real person, but did all the research. This looks like he has all the answers somehow, like, and it perfectly delivered it. It's like just does not seem.
Dr. Judy Wood off the shelves.
Well, I had my wake-up moment in December 2016 regarding...
That's literally when I think it's December 2016. I think that's when I was... That or 2017 early. But anyways, very, very similar.
9/11.
Can I just ask?
Intellectually...
Yeah.
Can you play that start bit again? Because did he have a little bit of a laugh there when he said about the wake-up?
Yeah, he did laugh. He says, "I don't wake up." Yeah. That's a good statement. Else point. Let's play this.
Work of Dr. First question: why did you take the work of Dr. Judy Wood off the shelves?
Well, I had my wake-up moment in December 2016 regarding 9/11, and any intellectually honest person, once they realise that they've been lied to on an enormous scale regarding what took place that day, then has an obligation to try and get to the bottom of what really happened. And so in 2017, I began looking quite extensively at the evidence, and it didn't take long before I came across the work of Richard D. Hall, and through him, the work of Andrew Johnson, and they were both staunch defenders of the work of Judy Wood. And so, having been...
And this is my video. This is the video I uploaded. I mean, I uploaded this, and the reason I could tell it's mine is it's HD quality, and I think I found out the only HD quality, and I put up there. So again, he's referencing my video. I'm like 1,000%.
Yeah, but that could be Solari using screenshots that he gave them, or that they found.
I know it just fits in well. But it fits in well with my.
Been exposed to some of the key ideas.
Yeah.
I actually bought the book and read the 500 pages. My copy is now extremely tatty, having been used and referenced so often. And I realised that Dr. Wood had produced a very substantial body of work here.
And then ignores the entire building 4, building 4, 5, 6. It's like she argues was due as well, and then doesn't state that here.
100 pages meticulous.
Plus, he used the word ideas.
Yeah. Okay,
not evidence, ideas.
And also, another part is that he says he read the whole thing and then realized she's correct. I'm like, well, for me, I just looked the front and back cover. I'm like, all right, I'm done. It was like, I'm like, all right. And I literally texted my cousin that day. I'm like, Steve, you're right, Illuminati. I'll throw your body. I'm like, all right, you're right. I literally texted him. All right, I told him sorry. I apologize.
Meticulously referenced material. Proper scientific arguments made, high quality publication with all kinds of photographs and imagery in it.
And just ignoring, this is towers are gone.
And having compared the evidence that she presented to the evidence that I'd seen elsewhere, I concluded it was head and shoulders above the rest, and really is the gold standard when it comes to understanding what happened to the Twin Towers.
All right, yeah. So he gets to the point where I think we're at the point where they can't cover the main part up, which is the towers turn to dust, and then it just adds in a bunch of other stuff. But again, I want to go to that thingy here. It might be the same one I did. Let's see right here. This is show 223. So if I go to Rich Planet, and then we'll power through the last bit. I want to go through the debunking the mainstream physics just to illustrate. Mainly, they don't cover anything. 223. I just want to see which one it was. Because, yeah, anyways, thanks for this one here, 223. 223, Richard Hall. The Madeline one, this is the one. Holy, okay. Because, I was looking at them. Okay, so Reuters Matrix says was in 2016 Pizzagate. So Pizzagate was when I was woken up to everything's fake. And then I looked at his Madeline McCann videos. And then
Huh? Only 2016. You're a late bloomer, but...
Yeah, but the thing is, again, Timothy Sol was in
What happened to his Madeline McCann videos? I made a playlist putting them all together, and then I found that they were all removed.
No, but his YouTube got deleted. because BBC went after him.
Or the BBC, yeah.
Ah, okay. It all makes sense now.
But also
Because of the
all the
court
Pizzagate,
cases.
but also all my Pizzagate videos got deleted from YouTube because YouTube changed their in 2020 during COVID. That's when they changed it and they included Pizzagate, but they referenced it saying we can't have any videos denying violent events that occurred that were driven through conspiracy theories. Like, so again, they're saying that, for example, someone that goes to a pizza shop shooting it up based on like conspiracies that he saw on the internet. So again, and then they delete all my videos because I one of the videos near the end I said that the shooting was a psyop because it was the biggest psyop I've ever seen. The shooting was such a staged nonsense, and then all the videos got removed. But a lot of them were on the Madeline McCann case. So I realized that there's a lot of disinfo on the Madeline McCann case, and then I saw his videos and realized, okay, this guy got it all right. And then I started watching all of his videos, and then I think I came across this one. It's just talking about the Madeline McCann. And then they just flashpoint a video, like a thumbnail of like the front and back cover of Judy Wood's book. I'm like, okay, we're done. So I think it covers it in here.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Hall was really a beast. What happened to him? Or like, where's he posting now?
Oh, he posts. Well, he backs it up on Odyssey, but he posts on his YouTube, and he's also trying to develop a free energy device, like trying to replicate them to see if they're real. So the first one's.
I think he was just too successful, and they all came after him.
Well,
what happened was he exposed the Manchester arena.
Yeah. So if you go, all of his videos got removed.
Got him into a lot of hot water.
So you can go my Telegram. I can go. Let's say Richard Hall. So now he's still there. You can I highly recommend subscribing to his just for email newsletter. When he uploads a video, he sends it to you. But I kept telling him like upload like everywhere. Don't just upload it on your channel. But he uses at least Odyssey as a server now in the back end. So if you could see.
Yeah, I had barely researched Pizzagate when I came across his Madeline McCann videos, and I mean, like after that point, it was like, okay, now I know the Podestas are some curious figures, and like everything kind of cascaded from there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the Podestas one. So Pizzagate. Let's see. I think I have a MES.fm/Pizzagate. And then Pizzagate playlist. I think I changed it. Let's see what this was it. Okay, so all the videos were removed, and I just want to go to this one here. So update, all the videos removed. I had like 32 videos, and then I made a live stream on it. So if you go, Podesta's one, this is what's woke me up. Like these two photos of the Madeline McCann were, in my opinion, 100% made to look like Podesta's, but they weren't involved in the Madeline McCann case. That's the key point in here. So anyways, I went through.
So they were a scapegoat, you think?
They were. I think it's kind of like they're part of the. It's kind of like I think a warning shot. They were not involved directly in the Madeline McCann because they were. I tried to find anything that connected them to the place, but they was so far away. And but these photos were made to look like them. And the thing is, the company that made them was a Washington D.C. company, even though the Madeline McCann case is in Portugal. So the company is literally a Washington D.C. company that's like tied to the Podestas.
So it's like, some kind of like blackmail cover story.
It's kind of like a warning shot, I think. So because the photos were fake. Like the guys who made them was like 6 years after from a Washington D.C. company, and it just like because Madeline McCann almost certainly died during that. It was never abducted or anything. And this one I went through a whole bunch of stuff here, and then.
Wow. Well, I mean, so you went much further than me. I don't think Richard Hall concluded that.
No, he was doing it before Pizzagate, so he had his stuff before Pizzagate, and then I summarized his work in mine here. Yeah, so we go here. Go on.
Richard used Peter Hyatt and done a load of statement analysis on the McCanns, the parents, and others, and I think they concluded that there was some type of involvement. With the parents, with that, and they knew where the body was or how it was disposed of.
And the cadaver dogs, the dogs literally smelled blood in the car in the trunk. I'm like, all right, we're done. And so and Richard Hall, okay, highly recommend
in the wardrobe in the apartment.
Yeah, I highly recommend watching part 30. Is one of the best videos in terms of just psyop everything, and I include a lot of Richard Hall's work. And this was at the time when I realized 9/11. I think this one, you could see when you could follow my progression in this stuff, but the one of them is the sister. I think his sister. Oh, I gotta find it. Where is the sister? Okay, one of them literally has it was like a fake online person. It was a news story about a person saying upset that everyone's attacking the parents, the Madame McCann, and then Richard Hull found out that the person in there was actually McCann's sister, like the husband's sister, and you could tell because her legs were so fat. Have you seen that one? I gotta find it. I gotta forget which one did I put it in here. But yes, anyways, so that's for that. Yeah, so again, I'm like very, very convinced that David Hughes' story is based off my story.
Would well be.
Like he's linking to the same video that I watched. All right. Anyways, I'm pretty sure.
Strange.
Yeah. So that was, and I even told Conspiracy Realist. I even told Keith this when he was like a few weeks ago because he was on him the whole time. Anyways, okay, I want to go last thing, and then I gotta head out. This is on this guy here because the thumbnail has this one here. At least debunk it. So this one, 6.8 million subscribers, 11 million views. I just want to go over some of the stuff.
The 9/11 terrorist attack. The huge impact force of the airplane did not cause the Twin Towers to have a tilted fall like this.
Okay, so it didn't tilt because of the massive. But notice he just has aluminum cutting through steel. Did you see what this animation is doing? They have the aluminum cutting through steel.
Wait, what? Did he actually want to say that the plane hitting it will cause the building to...
Yeah. He's saying it didn't do that. But look what he has. He has aluminum cutting through steel. And again, let's just debunk this in like rapid fire. So if you guys have seen that plow, steel plow. So a steel plow...
Mythbusters cutting through the car.
Oh man, I hate how it doesn't find. Okay, steel Mythbusters. Busters. I don't know why it's not finding anything. I will go. What was it? Steel. Was it a sled?
Yeah, it was a sled. Okay. Mythbusters. Yeah.
Steel sled. I'm gonna just do this so I use it for searching. So I like Telegram because it's super fast. Steel or plow. So a steel plow going 500 miles an hour cuts a car. A car. People don't realize it's stronger than a plane because it's not meant to fly, and it cuts the engine in half too. And a lot of people say the engine of the thing is super strong. Yeah, but the thing is, it's connected with things that aren't as strong. It's like even though the material itself is strong, it still has normal connections and so on. So like
it's connected onto a wing that says don't step here because it's so fragile. Because if you step on a certain area of a commercial jet's wing, you're gonna punch a hole through it.
No, definitely. But when I talk about the engine itself, like the engine itself is not just one solid piece. It's literally a big hollow thingy, so it can crumple based on the connections and so on. But like it itself, even though it's strong, similar to a car engine, it's strong. It's still gonna get cut in half by a solid steel. Here, oh, it doesn't play here. Okay, I'm gonna play the video. Sometimes the Telegram. Okay, so here's the video.
We're ready to launch. Tory hunkers in the bunker with the rest of the team.
I want to go over right here. 50. So 500 mile an hour steel sled going through literally a steel car, okay? Just because it's not made with this like thick structural steel. Even though it's like similar materials, you have it thinner and you have it like spread out so it can crumple and so on and cut in half. Watch.
75,000 pounds.
Let's play it.
Gone in a sixth of a second. The rockets fire. And 75,000 pounds of thrust. Throw the super plow along the track.
And the reason I'm showing this for those who don't know is that with Newton's law of action-reaction, it's the same thing as having the plane stationary and then the steel building going 500 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that's actually what woke up one person, and I'll
spectacular.
Now look at the slow motion. Look at the slow motion. What happens? The steel plow is intact way past the car until it only explodes once it hits a concrete block.
50 miles per hour. And when the dust and shrapnel settle...
Perfect halves of the car. It actually split the engine in half.
Yeah. So it actually split the engine in half. Okay. And then we'll go over here. And here's slow motion.
Rockets went so much faster than I expected. It was just shoot.
There it is.
And the car
We couldn't even see it was split in two until we walked up here because there was just so much dirt in the air. We got up here, half a blue car, half...
The solid steel superplow disintegrated on impact with a concrete barrier.
You guys see that steel? The steel is still intact. See this right there?
To cutting a slice through the car, the solid steel super...
Alright, and now this guy here, and then also going back into the, let's go steel or plain peeps. I think that's what I'll say. Yeah, peeps realizing, so I got a message on X saying, hey, you converted me from 80% to 100% on in your stream. You said it's the same as a building hitting a plane at the same speed. That is true. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you have it stationary and you have this giant building slicing it. Anyways,
No, but that's the argument. That's the argument Dr. Morgan Reynolds was already making in 2005, 2006, and especially the Madison seminar that they had. And you had von Kleist there, you had Barbara Honegger there, you had Fetzer there, everybody there, and them all trying to take him on. And Gladwell Ace Baker was there as well, and Dr. Wood.
Yeah, definitely. The whole thing is, it's been known for a long time. It's like, but the thing is, a lot of people, it's like they don't come across this work. They don't have the time to, or they don't have the time or willpower to go and actually look at the papers and look at it one by one. And sometimes it's like passively. They listen to our streams like passively while they're doing stuff. And then they need, that's why I reinforce it all the time. Like I keep telling it so that it gets more and more. And again, it's similar to this, a tennis racket, and there is just just an egg, and this is literally, this is what happens if the building there, but this would explode on impact if it was explosive liquid, all right. So it's like, well, and let's go back to the guy again. Anyways, so we've debunked him in like literally 7 seconds in debunk. This is complete nonsense. He's saying the steel tilting is complete and utter nonsense. Times the max. The Indian one, Indian airplane crash didn't like didn't tilt the building. That's place. And
instead, the towers stood strong for more than an hour. However, to the world's surprise, the towers collapsed like a house of cards.
Okay, so there's it ignores the
vertical fall.
Where's the sphere? He never mentioned the core column spire.
The main reason for this strange collapse.
I can't understand how people still call it a collapse.
Well, yeah.
After all.
Again, this is guys just mind controlling stuff. Okay, so there's the Hulk right there.
Structural design, the perimeter tube design. The concrete floors of the World Trade Center are supported by these trusses. During the airplane crash, the jet fuel burn increased the temperature and caused the trusses to sag. Can you tell what the effect of a heavy and sagging floor on the building?
Even though there's literally people on there. Okay, so we've got that part. So this is at impact zone. You literally got the this one, Edna Cintron. Literally, okay, so she's standing there. This part isn't hot. The steel isn't hot. She's literally standing there waving.
Dave might be trying to call me because
so you can see her waving. And she's literally in there, and it's not just her. There's other hands and other people, and so on. All right, so it wasn't hot. It also Melissa Doy is in there. The firefighters literally were saying that there's isolated pockets of fire while they're like very close by there. Anyways, okay, so we've already, in my opinion, debunked them nonstop. Okay, so there's imaginary fire.
Wait. We're going too fast. To properly understand the physics behind the collapse, first we need to understand the geometry and design details of this building.
Okay, anyways, I haven't looked at it all because I'm just gonna go to some actual stuff. Let's go back here.
The core columns, the elevator.
Okay, so we have the aluminum plane going through steel. It's like saying the structure itself, depending on the top of the structure, it's absurd. Yes.
The hat truss also provided support for an antenna atop the tower. Now that we've covered the entire structure of the World Trade Center towers, let's get into
look how it's falling.
The physics behind their intriguing house.
What's interesting is their animation itself is a debunking of what should have happened. Like the things. Okay, look at his animation. He's literally saying the towers are turning dust.
Of the World Trade Center towers. Let's get into the physics behind their intriguing house of cards kind of collapse. As the hijacked jet...
So a house of cards kind of collapsed at near free fall speed.
Jetliner crashed into the North Tower. It ruptured the maze of perimeter columns for up to 6 to 8 floors. This crash also damaged about 60% of the core columns. The elevators and stairwells were damaged.
Okay, notice the plane isn't even damaged at all. So what is the world's strongest plane? Was it made of passport paper?
Around 1,600
Superman, that's Superman's plane.
Yeah.
This impactful hit of the Boeing jetliners could have led to a tower collapse like this.
It's a notice a distraction that they're focusing and it's not doing the sideways. So like, who's on the sideways? I'm talking about it disappearing.
But it didn't. Thanks to the strong foundation of this building, and also due to thousands of these tiny viscoelastic dampers in the building. These rubber-based dampers absorbed some impact force. In fact,
floor with this
Okay, now look at the animation they have. They have the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The first one is having a straight floor, and second one is having a floor with a sag. When you apply a force on the first design on the straight floor, this is in fact gravity load. There is no issue for the walls. They are standing strong, right? But if you apply the same force on the second design, on the sag floor design, you can see the walls are denting inward.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a huge deflection. The same thing happened in WTC perimeter design as well. And this
So
is
he
so
thinks
clear in
he thinks the building has some sort of structural integrity, like a wicker basket.
Yeah, it gets worse. It gets
Is
worse.
that
It gets worse.
where-
It gets worse. It
come
gets
on.
worse. It gets worse. I know. It gets
Yeah,
worse.
but okay, fine. The thing you can,
This
there's
means that
another
the
video that you can look at that basically where they talk about the strength of the outer columns is that you could physically take one side, sever all of them, sever the corners, and then take out multiple columns of the outside structures on the other remaining three walls, if you want to call it that, and it would still be able to withstand winds of up to 200 kilometers an hour without losing any structural integrity. So that whole point of saying the sagging floor trusses or whatever was the reason for that. And sorry, but that whole section where everything bows in, that's conducive to what you see in the John Hutchinson experiments.
Yeah, but also he's saying that the sagging thing, but I'm like, there's 110 floors, okay? So you have one sagging.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? And the thing is, there's little people in there, still alive.
the sagging concrete floor would dent the perimeter columns inside.
So he's saying, I just want to see what he says, and then he inverts the thingy. So we had the aluminum plane going through steel. Now he compares the steel building to an aluminum can. Okay, we'll get to that.
Due to the force which is acting inward. Remember, the perimeter tubes are also weakened due to the temperature increase. Now, let's see what the effect...
So where's the impact? So he's saying that it's fire all around the impact. There's literally people standing there. So that there's not going to be high heat. So it's not high enough to heat people up, but it's enough to melt steel somehow.
The dent is on a perimeter tube design.
This simple can is equal to a perimeter tube.
So look, he's putting this amount of weight on a little can. Why are you doing that?
Design. Surprisingly, such a small can is able to handle weight of 3 big UPS. But if you add a small dent on the can,
all right. So
it just collapsed.
He almost laughed as well.
Details.
Okay.
Oh my God. It was a perfect vertical collapse. You can see that. The same thing happened in WTC perimeter tube design as well.
Similar to the experiment, when an axial force passes through a perimeter tube design with a dent, it just collapses at the region of the dent. This is a clear case of buckling. You've probably all experienced or at least seen buckling. Buckling occurs when a compressive load acts axially on a slender beam. Because of the dent, buckling happened at a much lower load. Can the strong central core save the top floors from falling down? Unfortunately, no, it can't.
All right.
We've already seen how the floors are weakly connected to the core.
Okay, this guy in the comments said a small dent as he completely destroyed. Yeah, he has like the giant weight completely destroying an aluminum can. What he should have had is a steel. A smoking gun is a pulverization. Yeah, well, there's infinite.
Moreover, due
guns,
to the high temperature, these connections were further weakened. During the collapse of the floors due to the dent, the core's support would simply break. With almost no connection to the core, the result is clear: the collapse of the entire top floors downwards. The mass of the top 15 floors was equivalent to the Titanic. coming in at a mind-blowing 38,000 tons.
Yeah, so we got the Titanic on top, but then it ignores that there's 9 Titanics below it, right?
In addition, the Hat Truss and the Boeing were also falling down. The sudden impact force of this huge weight over the floor right below it trashed the lower floors.
Okay.
The perimeter
But it fell in free fall speed, okay? So
the tubes also almost immediately buckled, since the impact force was huge and compressive in nature. This caused an unfortunate chain reaction, and one by one, the floors kept crashing down. The weight also kept increasing as the building collapsed. When viewing footage of the tragedy, you must have surely seen the shredding of the perimeter columns during the collapse. This was due to buckling. The North Tower came down in 13 seconds, and the South Tower took just 11 seconds. Did you know this exact scenario was tested before the towers were constructed? In the plane...
Wait, I want to go back to this one. So again, he's saying it pretty much falls in free fall speed, and he's saying, and notice how he's falling down. It's crushing at the bottom. What is being crushed actually? I thought it's supposed to be crushing the top, crushing down, but he's saying that yeah. So this is a weird animation. So
I would like to ask him why was the 16 survivors in Stairwell B of the North Tower not crushed with all these pancaking floors?
So does this this look like whatever this is? Oh, where's the other video?
No,
yeah,
not even close.
Yeah, does that look like this? Is this?
But also, what I see on both sides of this is they have conflicting explanations amounting to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
The idea that you have scattered debris from the top of the building, which it's not consistent with a gravity-driven collapse. But then, so we watched that, and there's no way that you're going to get that scattered debris. They try to explain Building 6 with that, Building 5, but we're not seeing that. And then that guy's explaining it with that explanation does not amount to debris that would destroy the surrounding buildings.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, this is not what's happening. It's like the animation is he's animating something that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's a total fiction.
During the collapse, this was due to buckling.
What this is doing, this is gaslighting you when you can see with your own eyes, and then you see garbage like this. That's called gaslighting. It's gaslighting you.
Yeah.
But remember, we need to remember that the people who look into stuff like this, and the new generation coming in, the people that woke up during COVID-19 or whatever, when they revisit certain aspects, they're going to come onto this, because this was heavily promoted in the first couple of weeks. I think in the first month that this video was out, it already had 7 million views, and it's only at 11 million now. But anybody who hasn't really done any research and they like their conspiracy entertainment would rock up on and watch something like that and then just eat it up. And that's the history of truth seeking for people.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put something forward. I've mentioned this to Norman the other day, and it's just, I'm throwing it out there just quickly. You've got all these aircraft tyres knocking about on 9/11 at the different events, especially the World Trade Center. There's no way when them alleged aircrafts went into them towers and the impact. Apparently, it was well over 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Aircraft tyres are nowhere near can withstand that type of heat at all.
No, is that
so?
I just want to. Are you 100% sure on that one? Just because I heard that the tires in the space shuttle, like during the explosion, they were still survived. Is that?
Not in an aircraft.
Really? Because I just want to see, because I thought I read it somewhere. Anyways, I'll have a look in here. Space shuttle. Let's say tires survived. Entry zone. Entry. I think I heard something like that, because the tire could be. Oh, they're not exposed to the heat. Oh, okay, so they're not. Okay, there it is. There's the answer. They're not exposed to the heat of the entry. They're protected with the shuttle's landing gear and are only used during... Okay, no, you're right. I think you're right. So, yes.
So, when the aircraft, we'll just go with the official thing now. When the aircraft crashed into the building and goes in, and you have that great big fireball. Now we're talking high heat, mental. Yeah. Them tyres would not withstand that. They wouldn't even withstand 800 Celsius, which is like 1400 Fahrenheit. Never mind 1800 Fahrenheit, which is what they say the explosions was.
Yeah. Matthew, check your Telegram private chat. I forwarded what Mark sent me with regards to temperatures.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, because I read somewhere it can, but I think it gets shielded by the other stuff. So no, I think you're right.
So when that, we're going on the official stories now. So when the plane goes in, obviously you get a great big fireball. So they're not going to be protected because they would have been part of that fireball. It's different to the shuttle coming in and it's not crashing, is it? The shuttle. So when the shuttle, when the aircraft goes in, it gets exposed, and you get all the heat apparently from all the fuel. Them tyres just wouldn't come out the other side and be unburnt or in the type of condition of the photos we see.
Oh yeah, but it might have been made with passport material or red bandana.
Exactly.
So-
I mean, they can even be planted or whatever.
Yeah.
But it would show a no heat then.
Yeah, definitely. And again, this animation has the aluminum like thin plane going through. And again, for those who don't quite grasp, let's say a bird plane.
Yeah.
So it's like the aluminum plane.
Yeah.
Can't go through a bird. Yet it can go through steel. Like I don't understand.
I love that bottom one.
Yeah, and there's
Morgan Reynolds actually has some cool pictures where you've got these trolley cars that move the planes around or whatever, and
taxiing out.
And one of these trolley cars bumped into one of the engines and left a major dent, or two planes colliding with one another on the runway with the wings and the wing on the tail, and that gets sliced apart and everything.
And also the cleanup crew just uses just a regular metal thing and crushes it all up. So again, this is literally just a thin aluminum can. That's all it is. Just an aluminum can or a giant aluminum can. Yeah.
Also note in that picture there, the tail section. That's where the ELT device.
Yeah.
Goes in them 757s and 767s because the tails fall off in them planes.
Oh wow!
That they're prone to falling off.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's where these are some epic info. Epic info you're dropping. Yeah, so this one right here again. But then in the video they have it reversed. The tower is made of aluminum can, and the plane is made of passport material. So we are okay. I'll finish this last 5 minutes.
Guys talking about remote control planes saying no, but this is a plane that has been strengthened and all of that kind of stuff. It's absolutely bull, man. You've just got to look at the basic flight physics of speeds and altitude.
Yeah, but also it's like they're just speculating without anything to back it up. The sound doesn't match it. The disappearing wing doesn't help it either.
The shredding of the perimeter.
Look, I mean, look. Norman spoke to Dan Hanley. Now, this is a United Airlines captain, right? He won't acknowledge the ACARS data, the addressing system data.
Wow.
He don't acknowledge the emergency locator transmissions not going off, being activated at the time of any of them crashes. He won't acknowledge that.
Yeah,
now, that's pretty damning evidence showing.
And he even admitted that I know more about the plane stuff than he does.
Yeah.
And also
you do.
He actually said that. He actually said he's not as doesn't know as much as an analytical revisionist. But also again, it's similar to Rebecca Roth. They just hand wave it away, saying, "Oh, the military does exercises. That's why all the data you saw, Mark Cullen, of the plane still flying overhead is just military." They just put that in there.
Well, I'm still waiting for this terabyte of Freedom of Information Act that she's got.
Yeah,
I've never seen them.
Yeah, and,
Well,
and also
just to interject there, sorry, Matthew, but in one of those expose videos about her when she was exposed in 2015, there was mention that she was either working with somebody or there was another guy doing research, and he had a terabyte external hard drive, and there was a break-in at his house. And then that information of his disappeared. And then a while later, Rebecca Roth was talking about how she's got this terabyte of data.
Yeah, it's
and then also with the fact that when Fetzer had her on a Skype call, he traced the bloody IP and telephone to Langley, Virginia. And what's in Langley, Virginia? The CIA.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the terabyte of the Freedom from Information or the whatever terabyte drive they had is probably like one of their Diddy freak off party tapes that they're being blackmailed with. That's probably that's why they do this and like as if they have a gun to their head, like Gene Larotonda and his wife. When you listen to them, it's like they literally feel like there's a gun to their head, and that gun is Richard Gage's gun. Richard Gage is a gun.
Well, it's their payday, man. They're on the payroll.
Yeah, but it's some blackmail. I think that's why he's always before every meeting he always wants to do a prayer and so on, because it's like he wants to be forgiven for his sins.
But you know something now, Matt? You'd be surprised how many people quote Rebecca Roth's fictional stuff as fact.
Yeah,
I get it a few times a week on my interactions on X.
I sincerely don't get it. How did that happen? Where did those? Well, they're adults.
Yeah, I think they're bought. I think they are ChatGPT.
No. But I've seen some of these people. Like they're like Gen X, just like fangirls, fanboys. You know, it's really odd.
But the thing is, even with Boston 9/11, Chris Berger did a whole presentation for them on why thermite couldn't be part of it. He went back to 2011 and the thermite challenge by Mr. Hightower, and completely debunked thermite in front of all these guys, and he's been a part of Boston 9/11 for 13 years. He refuses to do anything relating to thermite and all of that, and there was nearly a huge split. Sue Serpa, the lady who currently runs the Zoom calls, actually left the organization for 3 years, and when she heard that Chris Berger is now basically becoming their main advocate or whatever for Boston 9/11, then all of a sudden she came back in. But again, those guys are so blind and unwilling to change the
Ray.
Ray,
and also speaking with Rebecca Roth,
who is that guy?
Dude, this is the dumbest person I've ever interacted with in my flipping life. This guy should not reproduce. We've got enough stupid people on there.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. Yeah, it's like
he's really dumb.
They had a homeless guy.
He kind of resembles like the cavemen from the Geico.
No, I call him Schmiegel.
Yeah. I think Richard Gage pays a homeless man to help the disinfo. I'm in there. And also
Rebecca Roth actually told him after he was going on about Flight 93 when she was talking about the jump seat and all of that, and there's not a internal or air phone in there. He just kept on going on it, and she later on got really irritated with him and said, "Is there something wrong with you? Don't you understand English?"
Is this Trevor from GTA 5?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. No,
gee, was this guy stupid?
Okay. Anyways, I want to power through because I have literally just a few minutes. I want to finish this one off. Let's see. I just want to continue what they're talking about, and then go to the point where they just ignore everything.
This tower design stood well enough. However, the engineers did not consider two conditions. One was the fire from the gallons of jet fuel, and the second was the size of the plane. At the time of the test, the largest plane the engineers considered was the Boeing 707, which was half the size of the one that actually hit. The One World Trade Center tower, which was erected in the honorable position of the twins, consists of measures to improve rescue strategies and the building's thermal design. In the One World Center, the engineers built a thick wall of reinforced.
Okay, anyways, that's just talking about distraction. I'm going to go to this part to see what it says here.
6 minutes. He stood strong for 1 hour and 42 minutes before collapsing. However, the South Tower collapsed in just 56 minutes. What could be the reason for this time difference?
Okay.
The reason
Notice
is
how
the
they
weight
keep
of
the tops in the videos.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely not what you see.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah, like
Just
it's similar to the other animation. Why is it going down, like bottom up?
It's before collapsing. However, the
And
South
why is material just disappearing in the middle? It's just disappearing.
Yeah. And
where's it going exactly?
Tower collapsed
We
in
don't know.
just 56.
Yes. So again, that is very, very good point here. Going back, we saw this clan opened up. Okay, I'm gonna go right here, and I put this here. I make the keywords ball 9/11 ball. So when you search up 9/11 ball on my thingy here, yeah, this one right here. So again, where is this? Where is this? I don't understand. Why is he going down?
There you've got the top half of that building in a dust cloud, or what Dr. Wood calls it a snowball, and the bottom of that building is still 100% fine. So that's not a...
Yeah, I'm gonna continue here.
What could be the
yeah, so the top, this is literally like fake. And also, this is the, I think this is the, this is not even the Marriott. Yeah, no, this might be the Marriott,
That's
building 3.
According to them, that's supposed to be the Marriott.
Yeah, but it seems a bit too small.
They made it like, what, 20 floors or something?
There's 22 floors for the Marriott Hotel.
It might be, I'll have to double check that. Actually, I'll open it right here. This is, and you can see this when I search Hughes. So like my keywords are, and the reason is, so the Marriott is right there. So and another thing is the scale. Some of them, I think I'm almost certain he's gonna fake the scale of the basement floor. Yeah, anyways, so we have that.
Yeah, he did. I wanted to point that out. earlier.
Because that's one thing because my argument is like the basement floor is tiny. Even if it's completely filled, it's literally tiny.
Just
okay,
56.
Okay, B-Stone is going away. So Chowal, yeah, for sure. We're just gonna finish this off and then have a go. And then Tammy's watching this while at Portugal International Cirque with the family. Okay, Tammy, if you're in Portugal, can you go and take footage of where Madeline McCann and them stayed at, like their actual apartment, and see what's up, and then follow back. So anyway, so that's the size of this one. I'm gonna go back to the size. Let's see how big it is. Okay, so this is about 2.5. So if this is the Marriott, that's about, let's say, 2 and a bit. So it's like a bit of double the height. Yeah.
42 minutes before collapsing.
Okay. So think about this one. Double this by 2 and then a tiny bit more. So 2 and like a quarter. This one is 2 and then 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the scale is not the scale. Did you see the scale? This one here is about 5 times. So they made this one look giant. So again, this is like deliberate lying. Like it's just straight up lying.
However, the South Tower collapsed in just 56 minutes. What could be the reason for this time difference?
And they also ignore that almost all of the building 3 is gone. It's like here's building 3. So they got the scale wrong. I think I may do a debunking of that one just because it got so viral. Someone on X told me, "Hey, look, this person's debunking your 9/11." I'm like, have you lost your mind? Do you have like any brain cells? Okay, building 3. I want to go back to Blue Bacon. I can't go blue. So there's a Blue Bacon guy. I got in a quote debate. He doesn't even know what building 3 was. He thought it was a Twin Towers.
I think my article that I wrote about him is absolutely epic.
Okay, where did I can't find? Why can't I find this? Blue. Where's the?
Just search bacon. I don't think you should have a lot of bacon.
Building 3. No, I think there's literally building 3. Building 3 for the Blue Bacon. Okay. Yeah, this is building 3. Yeah, okay, so you're probably right. I'm just going to search Blue Bacon. So Blue Bacon is the guy that literally did hit pieces on me. And again, similar to how I'm pretty sure Hughes is like writing a story based on me. Blue Bacon literally did debunking strictly on me. And then he went after 9/11 revisionist after you started emailing him. And then we just...
After we both went after him.
Yeah, okay, building 3. Why can't I just find it? Okay, this one. I believe it's gone. Like, I don't understand. Where's... I need to find building 3. Building 3. I'm gonna go building. We need to find building 3. I don't care how we do it. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's building 3. Okay. So this is what's remaining. So see this animation? Actually from this angle, it looks like, yeah, okay, that's a different angle. So you have to see from the bottom up, it looks like it's bigger than it actually is. It's actually 5 times. Unless I'm seeing things wrong. Unless I'm pretty sure. Okay, so from this angle, looks like that. Actually, yeah. So they might be right about that. Unless it was a different building they added, or they just made it bigger. I'm not sure. Or unless it's from perspective. Okay, but anyways, we'll keep that.
It's a very bad rendering.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is, but anyways, so this is building 3. This is the remaining stub. Is that it's like almost completely gone. So this one
collapsing. However, the south tower collapsed in just 56 minutes. What could be the reason for this time difference?
And that's the top. This is a fake animation. The bottom is that's the bottom of the south tower. That's why I'll say the exterior lobby columns. This is exterior lobby columns is towering above the tiny stub of building 3, and building 3 is gone. So building 3 is gone, and they have it there.
The reason is the weight of the floors above the crash region. The south tower crash happened 14 floors lower than the north tower. This means the south tower had to carry a much higher load during the fuel burn time. This would obviously lead to easy buckling. This is the reason why even if the north tower was hit first, it collapsed second. Generally, during a fire accident, the stairs play a major role in evacuating the occupants. However, in this case, the stairways could only save a few people. This was mainly because most of the stairs became obstructed by gypsum debris. Also, all the stairs were located in the central core area. According to the reports, the South Tower's A staircase was the only one which was usable. Many people compare the 1945 Empire State Building crash with the 9/11 attack. The Empire State survived, but the World Trade Center...
How come the plane is... Again, they always have the plane completely intact.
...did not. The reality is that these two events are simply incomparable when considering the size of the airplane involved in the crash. The airplane involved in the Empire State Building incident was a tiny bomber aircraft, whereas the World Trade Center was struck by a gigantic passenger aircraft.
So, in my opinion, my civil engineering background, if you have 10 of these big Boeings hitting this Empire State, it would not turn to dust. Let's go 100. Actually, 100 maybe it will look like it will blow up the entire city, but I think it will withstand 10.
The care engineers gave while constructing the foundation of the Twin Towers was incredible. You can see a strange concrete wall within the soil.
Okay, here's another part here. So can you guys see this info right here? So this is the floors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think the bottom is 6. Okay, so keep that in mind.
7.
Yeah, there should be 7. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I guess this would be 7. I don't know. But anyways, I'm just counting them up. So if you look at this right here, look how big this is. And then if you compare what actually is, basement. So the basement is not that big. So what people don't realize is not only was the 7th floor basement on 9/11 barely damaged, it was also a tiny 70 feet to the bedrock. Since that was all the depth to bedrock. 70 feet to bedrock from the ground level. And the towers itself was 208 feet. So that is the scale relative to the width. It should be that much is this one here you can actually just go multiply it 3 times. So this is the height of the basement floor. This is over the 208 feet. Yeah. 208 feet is right here. Here to here is 208 feet. So in other words,
basement is if you take the width in relation to the building, it's way wider than what the building actually is. So that is a bad rendering again.
Yeah, but they do this on purpose to make it seem like some of the rubble went in there. But if you look at where my mouse is, from here to here should be roughly where the basement floor is. So anyways, keep playing.
Around the building. This is known as a slurry wall, and its main duty is to prevent water intrusion from the nearby Hudson River. Look at the way they've strengthened the concrete walls using tieback cables. The engineers were able to locate a strong bedrock at a depth of 7 stories. The concrete foundation of this building progressed from there. The engineers called this new foundation technology a bathtub. Interestingly, the
again, this is way too... Again, the size, I can't stress this enough. It's literally lying to your face right there. And this isn't the first person that does that. This was every single mainstream one.
Yes, and that other one that I initially had in one of my articles, and then you corrected it.
Yeah, because it was good, but the thing is, it's like, because I dealt with the models, and yeah, so I wrote right here, and I said right here, don't underground depth not to scale. So this was the 3D model. The actual one should be right there. So it's like they do this on purpose to make it look like, oh, obviously it went in the basement.
The bathtub foundation also accommodated 2 tunnels. This strong foundation was the main reason why the impact force of such a gigantic airplane couldn't topple the building. The Twin Towers may not have
So he's focused on the toppling. Nobody even cares about the toppling.
collapsed if the terrorists had hit the building, say, 5 floors above the actual hit location. Or if instead of a perimeter tube design, a normal steel skeleton column design was used. It may also have been avoided if the engineers had used a strong joint at the floor core connection.
Okay, so now the other part is, do we see 110 of these pancakes?
Even the terrorists behind the attack likely could not have imagined all the physics that happened after the plane crash, or even anticipated such a monumental building collapse.
Okay.
Sometimes, physics is cruel.
You can see the huge amount of debris which was formed after the collapse of...
And this is not much debris, but also it's less than this. So this right here, this is the bottom. This is not the top. He has it. I think they have it all mixed up. Let's go so he has it all intact. Yeah. So
imagine all the physics that happened after the plane crash.
Yeah. So that is the top. That's not what happened. Yeah, so.
Or even anticipated such a monumental building collapse.
And they never included the spire on both sides, but mainly the north tower.
Sometimes, physics is cruel.
You can see the huge amount of debris which was formed after the collapse of Twin Towers. Surprisingly, when they cleared the debris, you can see a column which is standing strong and brave.
Okay.
This is a
so he's saying the center column was standing strong and brave, but he is ignoring that the entire, like almost the entire exterior lobby columns were standing. Lobby columns. So it's like the entire lobby columns, these were standing still. So it's like, why is he focused on the central column? And again, I can't stress enough. Look at the sphere there. There's a sphere. There's a sphere. There's a sphere. And again, the size here, again, I think it's a perspective change, but yeah, this is building 3. It shouldn't be that big. But anyways, let's play this.
Column from the central core of the building. I know even after all this scientific explanation about the collapse, I will be able to read in the comment section, what about WTC-7 tower? It got collapsed, even though it was untouched by the airplane. There is a scientific explanation for that as well, but not in this video. This video is already 15 minutes long. Just give me 1 week of time, we will cover that portion as well.
Or anyways,
No,
so
but this idiot can't count past 3 either.
And he has a 7 right here, and again, all these animations of the aluminum there, and I think every single one has basements really. Yeah, see, I haven't. This other video also has a basement is way too big. So it's like this is 9/11 is I think the key where it shows that they're willing to lie so blatantly, because it's just such a big domino that they can't let go. But anyways, so he also ignores the spire. So notice he has the building's fall, but he ignores that the spire is fine. Okay, where's the building? And
One should actually do a deep dive, and a debunking of his so-called debate with Teddy Boy.
Nature.
And,
This caused.
What's his face?
Yeah, but those guys are like, again, like my view is those guys until they get this kind of views on YouTube. But again, Richard Gage does get a lot though on his X. But yeah, so like these ones would be good to tackle as well, because the normies, I think a lot of them will wake up faster than the alt media that drank the Kool-Aid. Because again, I literally bought and I bought a 9/11 book, Judy Wood's book, and gave it to my this person I knew, like because he believes in thermite. I'm like, here's the book, like, and he still believes in thermite nonsense. I'm like, something's up with these. I'm like, and I'm assuming he's not a disinfo agent, because I'm like, I know that physically now. So something's up. But yes.
But Dr. Wood says there's three problems with people when they research 9/11, and that's basically problem-solving skills, groupthink, because they just want to be part of the group. They don't want to stand out and be called something, and they can't handle the implications. Because if you really think about it, it's sci-fi. It's something that you see in a movie. Where would if they make a movie now stating that with this scenario and 9/11 never happened, everybody would say, yeah, that's cool, that's doable. And that's what's his face Edgar Fouché basically said with his research and stuff that they were doing at Area 51 and all the weird and wonderful tech, he went to his superiors and said, Hayek, I want to write about what the hell we're doing here. But it's going to be a fictional book. And the guy said, yes, but you can't write anything about what you're doing. But he ended up writing about what all his other friends were doing. And that's what they do. They put it into the sci-fi movies or whatever. And then if they manage to get this technology running in the real world and they kind of like use it, then people will just say that's bullshit, because that's shit that you only see in sci-fi movies. And that's how your perception gets managed.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna have to head out, but I want to show. Okay, so just keep in mind this one. I'm gonna go to the North Tower spire just to show you how like blatant lying it is. So notice this. I'll make it double speed. Okay, and then the top is still going down. So something is it's literally teleporting into nothing. And now we'll show the what actual happened. So ignoring this right here. So I'm gonna go right here. And go to the spire one. So is that animation showing this? Oops, go to this part right here. So there's the animation. Is it showing this right here? Okay. Okay. So there's still spire standing. This is like the Eiffel Tower height. It's still standing. And also, yeah, Ryan, have you seen this part right here? On this part, I mentioned this. I think I've mentioned it to Mark and not on the version definitely. But see, these columns turn to dust on the side. And whoops. Okay, right here. Oh no, actually, those are already turned to dust. My bad. It's right here. These ones here. So keep an eye on these ones. And then they turn dust. So those ones turn to dust, and so on. So anyways, what I'm trying to show is, this guy, where's the spire? Where's the giant dust around everywhere? Okay, so what is this? What is he animating? Okay, so there's this. And turns to dust. All right. And anyways, that's all, guys. I have to head out. I got a bunch of people over, and again, this is the lobby column still standing. The bottom is towering above the top. The sphere is towering above the rubble. The lamppost, which was mistakenly considered the North Tower stand. Have you guys seen that? Mark, have you seen that part or no?
No.
So
which one was that? Sorry.
Okay, so there's a clip of people. They thought that this lamppost was the North Tower antenna. Did you see that one?
Oh no, I've not seen that one.
So they thought it was that.
Where was that?
So again, I highly recommend watching my. I'll show you here.
Yeah, it's very good. I watched it this afternoon. The amount of work that Matt put into it
this video
absolutely
right
divine. The pictures there are. There's pictures
literally
there that people have never seen. Really, take the time, watch it.
It's an hour and 37 minutes, but excellent. It's like I put like literally like hundreds and hundreds of photos.
Keep asking us.
And this is literally the best compilation of photos anywhere of the rubble pile.
Yeah.
Any book. You're not going to find it in any book. You're not going to find it in any website, anywhere. Especially in some sort of order as well, including like how many dogs are walking around and so. But I want to go over to the antenna. The lamppost. Okay, lamppost. And I also put the timestamps. Lamp right here. So at the one. So the timestamps are big, but if you want, I put actually much more timestamps, but there's a limit on YouTube. So if you want to get the full ones, it's on the Hive blockchain, and you can see the full timestamps here, and then you can see.
Wow.
So yeah, and I'm gonna go to the lamppost. This one's again super important because it's like it shows you how mind.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was lamppost photos. I want to go back to the. My goodness.
Intro.
This was the circular holes. I think this was. Oh, this is why. Okay, this is why you search the full one here. Lamp. This was at the 110 story for lamppost. Not no. Okay, 37. Okay, at the 37-minute mark. So that's why I use the timestamps for my own sake. 37. Oh yeah, this was just before this. Okay, just before this. Okay.
It's in your intro video.
I thought it was. Okay, this was the lamppost. Yeah, but it was right here, somewhere here. Could have sworn. This is a lamppost. Yeah, this was right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no,
going back
so it
to
was
that.
right. Yeah, it was 37. Okay, 37.4. Why am I
Wow.
just click it? Oh, it didn't. Yeah, no, it was right. It was a few seconds after. I was it's supposed to be
Yeah,
37.47.
right place.
Yeah, I was just 2 seconds back. Anyways.
10 stories at ground level.
110 stories at ground level.
If you get a shot, you'll see the antenna that was on top of the tower. It's at ground level.
And yet there are no people to be seen.
For a moment of perspective, look at the Trade Center towers before the attack. Tower number 1 held a 300-foot mast used for television transmitters. Firefighters believe this is the tip of that mast today.
So again, this is not the mast; it's just a lamppost. So this right here, they thought this like 300-foot whatever. And again, that's like this is like the height of what the people think the basements were.
Firefighters believe this is the tip of that mast today.
Is this a lamppost? My goodness, that was out ground level.
Standing upright, but at ground level.
Okay, I'll keep playing.
By late afternoon, a fireman carried an American flag to the mast and raised it. Fellow firefighters wept as the stars and stripes flew in the smoke-filled sky and remained above them as they worked into twilight's last gleaming.
So and then I'm using AI music anyways. I use AI. This is a lamppost at ground level. Okay, so this is a lamppost at ground level. There's a sphere. It's still at the ground level. I don't know how to stress enough. I don't know how to stress enough. The lobby columns are still there. The lamppost still there. And so in other words, that animation that guy, physics guy did is literally deliberate lying like to our like faces. All right, this is.
That's great. That is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is. I used AI music. I said make some music of like a city getting destroyed by a tornado, etc. Okay, so there's a lamppost again, and they put this there. The whole time they thought that was the North Tower antenna. Think about that.
So was that lamppost on top of the North Tower?
Yeah. This is on top of this lamppost on top of North Tower. I'm telling you, this is like mind-boggling stuff right here.
Just happened to land the right way up as well.
But it just shows you how the disinformation started on September 12th already.
Yeah, and yeah,
the teleporting lamppost. Huh?
And also, if you go to this lamppost right here, where I said, where in the world? Okay, this one here. I got this photo. This photo is interesting. This is not actually in the video. I made a thumbnail at this photo. I found it after I made the video, and I had it uploaded already. I'm like, I don't include it. I just put this in the thumbnail. So this is a thumbnail, not even in the video. And if I found this on Reddit. So if you go to here, not in archive, this person says, I wonder what the date this is. It amazes me how little debris there appears to be because most of the debris has fallen below ground level, question mark. This person says this appears to be at least a couple days after. But here's another thing to keep in mind. If the lamppost is there, it's one of the earlier days because it's not there in almost all the other photos.
Yeah.
So if you see the lamppost, that means it's one of the very, very early times because you can literally see the sphere. You can see the sphere. Without you can see this whole thing without the lamppost in like many photos.
There's a lamppost there.
That's because this one's a compilation. I put all of them together. These ones all together. But then
it's a sad thing that we couldn't get the expert himself, Jason Burmis, on to explain all of this.
Yeah, definitely. And then
no, I want a round 2 with Jeremy Rice without him having the ability to mute me every time I demolish any talking point that he brings up.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So as you can see this right here, this is the sphere. The lamppost. If you don't see the lamppost, it's almost This one. This one's there's no lamppost. There's no lamppost. It looks like it's gone. So this is after that photo. All right, and look at him staring. He's staring. He's on ground level, looking straight ahead, and he sees the lobby right there. And last photo, and I'm actually going to end it. Exterior lobby columns again.
I just quickly want to throw a request out into the ether, and basically, if anybody wants to finance a trip for me to America, so that I can go speak to Mickey Cross and Pasquale Buscelli and have them sit through Dr. Wood's presentation to see what the hell they're going to do, send me some gold bars.
Yeah, definitely.
That is, if I can even get out of the airport with all the drama that I've been causing with regards to 9/11.
Yeah, definitely.
You're probably on a watch list.
I think in the future it might be a good idea to have like a general invite link for challengers.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
try
Twitter,
to
like Twitter has it.
Try to create like a call-in line, if you will, and bring in people to debate, because it does seem like we have what was that guy, Simon
Peter dude,
the Peter guy, yeah,
Simmons.
We could have got him in here, or any of the challengers, but I think if you have a space like that, eventually you're going to have the fan base of, say, Richard Gage or whatever. They're going to say, call in here and set them straight,
No, yeah, definitely.
So
and then they can derail
you just have to.
But yeah, definitely.
It's a build it, they will come.
No, definitely.
If we build it, they will come.
No, definitely. But it's like they already show up in the chat. I kind of use this for like just, but like a way of rooting it out. If they want to actually join it, here's a link and they can join it. But again, a lot of them are straight up agents. And so,
well, like, there's a way perhaps to create a cancelable invite link, like a single use, or
I could just create a second one. Yeah. We got a donation.
If we do it on Zoom you can do it, because that's what Gene Laratonda does with his War Room, and that Susurper and all those guys do with their presentations. They've got Zoom stuff, and then you can share the link and people can come in, and as soon as somebody comes in that they don't like, they just bloody well boot you and block your IP address. So even if you try multiple profiles, you can't get in. Believe me, I'm talking out of experience.
On Discord, that you can create the special one-use invite link. I don't know if you have that for these streams.
I was gonna do that with Twitter, but you need to use the phone. I wanted to just go use an open X space while I do the live stream, but it's like you need to someone needs to create it with a phone. So that's a bit weird. But,
wait, what do you mean create it with the phone? So, I do X spaces.
Can you do X space with your computer?
Yeah.
Oh, you because I was wondering how to do it.
All the time.
How do you? Yeah, so you can build X space with computer. I was trying to do it last time. It's like you download the phone or something. I'm like X space, because I was thinking do an X space for people that want to join in and talk.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I can just set one up. I could start one right now.
Well, I'm gonna
I think I can start multiple. I think if I use a phone, I could actually have two different ones running at the same time.
So if I go to X right now, how do I do an X space on my X?
I think it's in the ... There, the ellipses at the bottom.
To create your space. Okay, that's what it is.
Create your space, yeah.
Oh, so I can create it right now. Okay, I didn't realize it was there. Okay, I thought it was somewhere else. Anyways, so then you follow everyone, and then choose to then you have a community. Oh, then something went wrong. Whoops. Yeah. So anyways, you can create it there. Yeah. So we just do that.
They do glitch out. So I would not count on an X space. It's entirely possible you could have one crash out in the middle. It's not that bad.
No, but it's during the stream, yeah. But I'm saying I'll be streaming I am now, and then use that so people call in, so then I can hear that. It'll be the same thing exactly. If it crashes out, we'll just use the link.
But there is a legitimate problem where people you'll have one person on the line that is muted while the rest are everyone can hear them except for maybe one person, or maybe nobody can hear them except for one person. That weird stuff happens.
Yeah, but again, these things can happen. But I never had that issue when I was in it. Other people made it. Anyways,
it's if you're on it enough, you have these weird experiences.
No, definitely. I was using Prism. I used Prism Live Studio. I was using OBS before, and I had some glitching out where audio was playing in the background. So again, things happen. I'll just move over to the next one. So anyways, guys,
thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Anyways, I want to show this right here. Lobby columns. Again, they're gone. And then the last part is so for donate for 9/11 Revisionist wants to go and fly out and film Mickey Cross and so on. And also put it here, donate to 9/11 Revisionist to help him get a new computer because he still uses Windows 8. Okay, guys. Somebody donate to 9/11 Revisionist.
Yeah, I need to buy a new computer to be able to get up to Windows 11.
Yeah, and also, guys, get on the Hive blockchain. It's like you earn just by posting. So it's like I just posted my own stuff here up with him. It just made a couple dollars, like just literally as if it was a tweet. You go see people's tweets and they just make. Think about it. You make a couple dollars any and every single tweet you make, or post or article and so on. So again, that's for another day, but definitely highly recommend that to everybody. And it's censorship resistance and so on. Anyways, guys, that is all for today. Thanks for joining, guys. And anything else you want to say to the chat?
I want to go to bed. It's 1:30.
Okay, I'm gonna say have a great weekend. Yeah, and yeah, thanks for getting here, guys. Great weekend.
Nice to be with you all.
Yeah.
Hello, Ryan and Norman and Matt, and I'll see you all again.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for the invite.
And also,
great articles. People go check out Mark Condon's newest articles on some of the passengers and everything. Because usually when people want to know about the passengers and all that drama, just go read Mark's Substack.
Yeah, you just go there. It's absolutely
Likewise
ridiculous.
with Norman.
Especially the passengers. Literally, it's a lot of them like the XV data or whatever. It's like the images are made before 9/11. I'm like, what? And okay, anyways, Roadie Motion also thanks for the donation. Okay, guys, that's all for today. And yeah, so Ryan, you want to say anything to the audience, or everything's all good?
Thank you all for being here, and I appreciate Norman and Mark and Matthew's work. It's really great that we got to connect, and hopefully we can connect again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially as 9/11 comes along and Richard Gage ups his disinfo Freemasonic rituals or whatever.
Yeah, let's do more lives, whether it's on X or YouTube or whatever. Like, let's just do more lives. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I do every Saturday, and then I do different topics and so on. And a lot of times people don't realize, like, I do different topics, like, for example, like Trump and Mumbo Jumbo, to get people eventually to 9/11. It's like get people interested in all this, and then all of a sudden slide in 9/11 every single time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
do.
try to do that angle from like technology and physics as best I can.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the math one. A lot of math people like join me for math, and then they stay for the conspiracy. And vice versa. Some join from the 9/11, and they're like, hey, then I started learning math again.
It's kind of a hilarious transition. Like, I came for the calculus, I stayed for Dr. Judy Wood, Where Did the Towers Go?
Yeah, definitely. Literally, math 9/11. I think they literally. Yeah, it says right here. I'll show this last one. Peep subbing. This person here, Peep subbing for math. I've been subbed for your math for a few years now, originally to help my kids with their math almost 6 years ago, and was blown away by your delving into this. So you also know Richard D. Hall and so on. So anyways, so yes, epic stuff. All right, guys, that's all for today. And yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, we'll definitely do this again. I'm going to end this stream right here.
Peace.
Yeah, I'll just have a good.
God bless.
See you guys. I'm going to hang this up. All right, ciao. All right, okay, guys, that was all for the stream. I'm going to close. I'm going to end this right here. 3, 2, 1. Peace.